Welcome to the ClevelandMoto Podcast.
Hey guys, ClevelandMoto Podcast, episode number 550, coming at you live on your YouTube channel. Light 'em up, boys! Oh, so much fun. The last week's, I got to listen as a spectator, and I actually got to join in the live at the very, very end.
We saw that.
Yeah, and it was a bit of a time difference. Mexico's 2 hours, Guadalajara's 2 hours behind y'all. But it was hilarious. We came back from the big ride out to the first night, and I was like, I'm going to go back to the room and see just if I can get lucky and catch it. Caught it. Fucking awesome. Great. So cool. And that was great. That was a really, really great episode.
It was interesting.
So you guys did awesome job.
Interesting guest.
Yeah, it was cool. It was really, really impressive.
I couldn't have done it without Smith.
Yeah. Hey, there you go. It was super fun. To my immediate left tonight,
Dan Kromke.
And to his left,
Steve Sleepy.
And to his left,
Johnny Mac.
And rounding the corner,
Speedy Pete.
Holding down the other end of the table,
Sleepy Spinch.
That would be Chris Smith. And behind the bar tonight,
Tom Pennington.
And your humble narrator, Phil Waters, back from Mexico. Really just want to give everyone the quick update. It was fucking amazing. Absolutely no doubt about it. It was a great trip. I strongly recommend Guadalajara to anybody who's like wants to have the Mexico experience in a place that doesn't take dollars. And they don't take dollars. It is truly Mexico. There are no English signs. You know, if you want to go and be like, well, you know, we went to Tijuana or we went to Cabo or we went to Cancun, and it's really not like being in Mexico because they still take dollars. Even Ensenada, you know, they take dollars. This is a place that nobody's going to be wanting your dollars. There's no dollar tourism based trade there. So the only people that want your dollars are people going to be traveling into the U.S.
Tell us, Uncle Phil.
Yes. So,
but you can still swipe with a card and it
swipe with a card. Go to the ATM, get your pesos out. You know, just remember the exchange rate. You know, be aware of the system. The exchange rate is taking a bit of a hit. So we used to always say that pesos were 20 pesos to $1. It made the math pretty damn easy. And now it's 17.50. I wonder why it dropped so much. That's a big drop. Yeah. That's a huge drop. And losing 250 pesos on your money, that hurts. And I did figure out an interesting way to do the math. So you do the math when you're at 17.50 pesos to the dollar. You do the math the same exact way as if you're driving a Japanese car. And the speedometer reads in kilometers. 100 kilometers per hour is 60 miles per hour. Oh. Okay? And it turns out 100 pesos is $6. So you literally either add a zero to your math when you say that I've got 100 pesos. That gives me 60 of something US. Add a zero, 6.00 is your dollar amount. It's actually pretty easy. Wow. So if your brain is used to converting from kilometers per hour to miles per hour, turns out 0.6 is a very handy number. To know your 6 times tables in your head makes traveling in Mexico and buying things in Mexico really, really easy. Prices were not like, I'm sure you've all heard like, oh my God, my money goes so far in Mexico. Well, Mexico City is the largest city in Mexico, and Guadalajara is the second largest city in Mexico. So it's not like being there is cheap. You know, we're not talking about being in some little village out in the middle of the hinterlands. This is a place where I kind of looked at some items in the grocery store and looked at some items that were kind of commonly available, and the money wasn't that crazy cheap. Like a $5 item in the States is pretty much a $5 item there, 300 pesos. So yeah, it's an interesting way to go through life. And, having that immersion, my Spanish is terrible. I have very, very little Spanish, but being around people that are just speaking Spanish, it forces you into engaging that muscle. So it was cool. A hell of a lot of the people there spoke English. That was great. But a hell of a lot of the people there didn't try. So if you find yourself in a crush of really cool scooter people, usually the people that were like bright and fluent in English would just jump in and act as impromptu translators so you communicate. Also found a strange number of Italian people and German people that were there for this event because this is Mexico's biggest scooter rally. And it was big, guys. at our DGR last year, we had 212 bikes, and you guys all know what that looks like. Well, they had about 160 bikes. Yeah. So it wasn't a small event, not by at all. I was riding a loaned Vespa PX 150 with a sidecar. It was the only sidecar there. That's going to come into play later. And the sidecar I was being loaned was by this guy named Armando. And Armando was our fixer. And Armando's, if you hang around our friend Steve Bailey from San Diego for any more than one visit, he will give you a nickname. You don't get to pick it. He will give you.
Were you comfortable in the sidecar with Merritt?
Yeah, with Merritt driving?
With Merritt
sure,
driving.
Absolutely. And so our friend Armando, who was introduced to us on our WhatsApp chat as named Arqui, A-R-Q-U-I. And I don't know a lot about Spanish names, but I thought Arqui is a kind of a weird name, not a name I'm familiar with. It's not Oscar or Armando or, Pancho or some Mexican name you'd think, or Esteban.
Esteban.
Right?
Jose?
It's not. It's kind of a weird name. Well, it's funny because I found out very late in the game that Arqui is not his actual name. His name is Armando. Everybody there knows him as Armando. But his job description is he is an architect. And so Steve Esteban Bailey called him Arqui. So meanwhile, I'm going around and everyone's like, wow, you came from Cleveland, Ohio. Yeah, I did. And what are you riding? I'm riding that sidecar rig over there. Oh, shit, that's you? My God, man, where did you get that? I see it has Jalisco license plates. I was like, I got that from Arqui. And they're like, huh? Okay. And I'm like, Arqui. And they're like, who the fuck is Arqui? And they're polite, so they just let it go. And I didn't realize they all know him as Armando. They don't know this Arqui person. Only Bailey calls him Arqui. And now all of us call him Arqui. So I'm going to throw this up. We got picked up at the airport in a Mercedes 11-passenger or 9-passenger van, really nice. And then we got shuttled from the airport, quite a hike, to this warehouse. And this warehouse is kind of interesting. So the first thing you're going to see is a Volkswagen Beetle convertible. And this Volkswagen Beetle convertible is a flat windshield. And to Volkswagen people, you're going to know that means it's old. But it's not old. Mexico got some weird versions of Volkswagens. This is actually a flat windshield, fuel-injected Volkswagen convertible.
I was going to say, Mexico was getting Beetles.
They were building
Beetles for a long
2000 and whatever, right?
They were weird mishmashers, like you said, too. It could have like a flat windshield, but it might still have...
fuel injection and all the deliciousness. McPherson struts.
Or they had link pin front... they either had McPherson struts, which would be a Super Beetle, or even the ones that had the beam suspensions often had link pins instead of ball joints.
Exactly.
And so swing axle transmissions too.
It's really strange. And then behind it, you're going to see a fuel-injected van that vans in our era of fuel-injected, water-cooled Volkswagen vans would not have had the 19s, early 70s bodywork and running gear that this thing had.
Vanagons.
Yeah, Vanagons. And this is a beautiful van, by the way. And then way back, if you look all the way back at this picture, you're going to see what appears to be a late 60s Volkswagen. Well, this was a special memorial edition that they did in Mexico using all the Wolfsburg cool running gear, but it's a fuel-injected motor and all that deliciousness. So this was a very limited edition, super rare car that had all the German coachwork and had all the cool Wolfsburgy stuff, but it's a Mexican-built Volkswagen. You're also going to see a Honda Helix front and center. That Honda Helix has got like super low miles, and it has the full Kenwood stereo system in it. So our friend Adam, a.k.a. Surfin' Tarzan, and his girlfriend Nicole, a.k.a. Jane, Adam has only one arm. Adam has only a right arm. His left arm is gone from a bad crash. So he can only ride an automatic. So he was rocking this Honda Helix with the stereo system. And then you see a silver Vespa Supertech, a GTS 300 Supertech. Under all that tarp or under that motorcycle cover is a Goldwing. Then there is my sidecar rig, the red sidecar rig. And then there's a BMW R9T. There's a Honda CBR 600 F2 that is in a CBR 600R F2 that is in brand new condition in the purple and red crazy livery.
I've gotten interested in CBR 600s for some reason.
It is a beautiful bike. And then in the back corner, he's got an Elite 250 and an Elite 150 with a pop-up headlight. He's got a lot of cool bikes, got a lot of cool toys, and he was very generous. He let us use them. So that was fucking awesome. Super, super great. We love that shit. Now, our host, the guy that put this all together for us, is Steve, or Steve Bailey. This is Steve Bailey, or this is Steve and his lovely wife, Stina. They have done so much riding in Mexico, it'd make your heart bleed when they tell you their stories of adventure. Well, they left these bikes, these yellow, painted like the Pacifica beer labels, these Vespa GTSs. They've ridden them all across Mexico, but what they're doing is they are abandoning them in their friends' houses as these bikes travel south and south and south and further south in Mexico. Well, these bikes were abandoned in Puebla. Puebla is the place where the Cinco de Mayo actually started.
That's in Colorado.
Different Pueblo. And so Puebla is where these bikes were. So they had to go in. They left these bikes in Puebla before COVID. That's a long time for some bikes to be sitting in a garage. So they had to go in.
Now we're going to find out what Mexican gas is like.
They had to change a couple of fuel pumps. They changed some fuel injectors. They got the bikes on the road, and they rode them from Puebla all the way down to Guadalajara, which is an extra bonus trip, 2 days on the front of the real adventure. So that's our friend Steve Bailey, a.k.a. Esteban, a.k.a. Bailey. Very, very cool dude. Much, much love. Now let's talk about the bikes you're going to see down there. It's going to be a hell of a lot of P-Series Vespas and a hell of a lot of modern shifters. You're not going to see, the oldest bike that we saw, I think, was a Rally 200. So like a 74, 75, 76. Rally 200 was the oldest machine that was there. The bike in the middle is just your standard run-of-the-mill Vespa S. They're the cheapest Vespa S150s you could get. They're the cheapest, modern automatic. But look at the patina paint job. And this patina paint job appeared on more than one bike. And this GTS is a really good example of like a badass patina paint job. There are parts of that bike that are plastic that has the rust spray painted on. And just really cool what they're doing in Mexico to make their bikes look badass.
You know what's funny?
Yeah.
So like
it's a super modern Vespa.
All the hot rod shows I have to go to have these dudes with patinas. Mm-hmm. And like I think it might work better on a scooter because there's less of it. Because when you get to a car and you paint it on, it just never looks right.
It never looks right.
It looks terrible.
And this on the rub out areas, like where your body would be rubbing against the paint, is all rubbed out real nice. And it does look really good on this bike. Yeah. This bike looks super cool with that patina or patina paint job. So really fun. I mean, just a really great rally. Hats go off to them because they've really figured it out. They got so many sponsors.
Look, Tom, cyber scooters are rusting.
Cyber scooters are rusting.
Indeed.
Yeah, it was really fantastic. The camaraderie, the love there, super strong, super, really, really good vibes for the whole thing. They've been doing this rally for 30 years. So it's a neat thing. The place that hosted us was in like our big party, our big Saturday night party was this outdoor party center, giant swimming pool, inflatable water slide, inflatable slide, mechanical bull. That's legit. That was real. At least 4 ska bands that never stopped.
Hell yeah.
That never stopped. Food that was the true, whatever they call those cauldrons of meat. They had like 12 cauldrons of meat, and they had an abuela there. They had this old lady there who was making tortillas by hand, like from the dough, and straight from the dough. And she's knocking these things out like 5 a minute.
And she probably was somebody's actual grandma.
Oh, for real, 100%. Yeah. This is a family operation.
Yeah.
And so as soon as you could walk up and muster, I want 4 tacos, then you got to pick out of the 12 cauldrons what your flavor was going to be. And they had vegetarian stuff. They had elotes. They had corn, cheese, everything. It was outrageous. It was really, really neat. Their generosity and the food prep was just outrageous. Plus, you're in Guadalajara. There's no bad food. Everywhere you go, the food is astronomical, off the charts. It was great.
Only bad water.
Well, and that's the thing is bottled water is everywhere. So like we asked people, we're like, okay, hotel, can we drink the water here? No. But the most restaurants and places will have the giant jugs. They'll have the 10-gallon jugs or whatever, fresh, clean water, and you can rock out with that. So not a problem. But it is it hurts your soul to have so many bottles of water. You're like, oh, Jesus Christ. And they were giving little bottles of electrolyte water, Pedialyte kind of stuff. Because I will tell you this, Friday, when we mustered up to get ready for our big ride out, it was over 100.
Oh, boy.
And I had a Joe Rocket silver mesh jacket with armor. And then I had my Jedi Knights cut on top of that, which, man, I'm telling you, that's the difference between hot and not hot, is that stupid cut. Mm-hmm. Right? I was riding in a short helmet with a bandana. Merritt was rocking her full face helmet because, man, the sun is not messing around. Mm-hmm. Now, if you draw a line on a map between Guadalajara and Tequila, it's not that far away. You're like, oh, it's not a big deal. However, there's a problem. There's one road, and everybody's fucking on it. and I mean, everybody is on it. And the problem is everybody means 18-wheelers. Everybody means tour buses, because tequila is what you think it is. Tequila is a massive, massive tourist thing. It is. People are serious about it. And so for the sake of the folks at home,
drink tequila in tequila.
You wouldn't want to not do it, right? So I went ahead and I pulled up the map here so folks at home can see it. This is only a 61.4 kilometer ride, 40 miles, right? But it says an hour 26 on the thing there. Okay?
Yeah, right.
But the first 30 miles of it are log jam, 100% parking lot, 4 lanes, can't go anywhere. It is 4 lanes wide of trucks.
2-stroke scooters love being in traffic like that.
I was about to ask how the bikes help.
Well, they have a unique superpower, is they just go on the right. They go on the berm, which is cool when you're 24 inches wide. Fuck, man. What was I thinking? I want the sidecar. Because everyone's like, oh, sidecars are hard to ride. Because they are. They're a handful. Scooter sidecars are especially a handful to ride. And Merritt's in the hack, and we got all our gear. And I was like, oh, I'm going to do the sidecar. I love sidecars. I'm a talented sidecar pilot. 20 minutes outside of town, I had been through some shit already of like, oh, the scooters are all going there. Getting out of Guadalajara, we had these cops on the weirdest fucking motorcycles, the weirdest cop bikes. If I say to you cop bike, what do we think? We think a Harley Davidson. We think a ST1300. We think a BMW.
KZ1000.
KZ1000, right? That's what we think about. No, BMW, like 650s, parallel twins, like CF Moto kind of bikes with parallel twin 500s in them. I saw some 250cc cop bikes.
I was going to say like enduro bikes.
Yeah. Oh, we definitely saw that.
That's what I always see in Central and South America.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, it's like
small bikes.
One picture from Ecuador last year was like a KLR 650, a DR 650, and some kind of a Yamaha or a Honda, all in the same picture. So
it's completely wild.
Yeah.
But here's what the cops did for us, and this is a recommendation for anybody who ever likes to do big rides. The cops were not there to sit in the intersection and wave us through. No, the cops rode with us. And every time a car would get into our posse, into our lineup, the cop would pull up, hit their sirens, aim their fingers at the fucking guy driving the car and be like, you, out. And they were going up to every single car that just due to the flow of traffic was breaking into our lineup, and they were extricating these cars surgically so that our group stayed together. And this is something I'd never seen. 160 bikes on a 2.5 hour long ride, and we stayed together tip to tail from the front of the pack to the back of the pack.
And everybody made it?
And well, I did say it was over 100 degrees.
Yes.
So there were 3 Vespa small frames that I saw that kind of had a mutual assured destruction agreement that anytime one of them broke down, I think they all stopped. But we counted those guys on the side of the road no less than 3 times. But they were like tuned. They had pipes and stuff on them and whatever. And it was bloody fucking hot. So they might have been having troubles as a result of that. Didn't see too much else in the way of shit breaking down, right?
Awesome.
It was really, really cool. And when you're down this road, you're driving past the volcano of Tequila. I'm not making that up. It's really called the volcano of tequila. And it's not full of tequila. It's a volcano where the water, that gives the weather system creates all the water that feeds all those blue agave plants. So that's the reason they can have all that. Because otherwise it looks like a fucking desert out there.
Yeah.
But except for there's just millions of acres of agave plants.
It made sense. I mean, tequila is probably really flammable.
It's pretty delicious. And if you do like tequila, this is the place to go. So it was really just stupid fun. Can strongly recommend Guadalajara if you haven't done it. I had to pull off some straight up magic with that sidecar rig. And there were many times where the outboard wheel of the sidecar rig was not on anything that the government put there. And there was a lot of merit having to like hover. And at one point when we got to the Jose Cuervo factory /tour/whatever, this monstrosity, we parked in an area where the police gave us all kinds of shit. They're like, we went up this little walk plats. Nobody's allowed to be on with vehicles. And I just ignored the cop. He was chasing me on foot. I just kind of like, I don't see you, and just kept going. So then by the time he called all the other cops and they found us, they weren't happy. But our fixers stepped up. Armando, our key, stepped up and he sweet talked all these police of like 4 different uniforms, because cops are crazy in Mexico. There's all kinds of different cops. And somehow or another, the cops were like angry, loud voices. And then it was like, okay, you guys can just park all your bikes there. Where we were anyway. We didn't get run off. We got yelled at, but we didn't get run off. And that was, I didn't see money but it was cool. And it was cool. But then the problem is where we were parked, cars parked in front of us. So the scooters could get out, but dumbass with the sidecar rig couldn't. So I had to drive the sidecar rig with merit in it on the sidewalk back into the Cuervo factory, through the walking area, onto the sidewalk, back up the sidewalk, and then it's not ADA in Mexico. There's no like ramps for wheelchairs. Well, so then we had to fly the car. Merritt had to jump out of the car and literally pick up the sidecar wheel to put it up on the parking bollards to get out. And I was like, okay, all right. It was tough. It was a challenge. It was not.
You aced
easy.
yourself by getting the sidecar.
Oh man, it was really. It kept me busy. Does anybody here know what a cantarito is? Anyone?
No.
Okay. Has anybody been in a Mexican restaurant and been served a beverage inside one of those clay drinking devices? I'm going to go ahead and pull an image up so you guys can see it.
I think I've seen that, but I've never had anything.
All right, that's what a cantarito is. And this is a mixed drink. It's mostly tequila, right? And they serve it in a little hand-thrown clay terracotta pot. You know, it's pretty cool. And because in Tlaquepaque, which is actually a real place.
Say that again.
Tlaquepaque. Yeah, we're not making it up. It's real. Tlaquepaque is a real place. They actually make these clay pots, these little jugs. But Cantarito is a major tourist stop if you're going to Tequila. And the reason they're a major tourist stop is their claim to fame is the world's largest Cantaritos that you can order for your table. And go ahead and throw this up. Oh, man. Come on, Phil. We can do better than that. I'm getting marketed with an inch of my life. Come on.
So it's like a big one of those cups?
Big doesn't quite wrap it up.
Okay.
So big would be one thing. Okay, go ahead.
So is this like a Porco size cup?
This is this guy size cup.
That's a terracotta planter.
Yeah. That's where the baby agaves start.
It's 5.5 gallons.
Okay, then.
And you got to drink that?
There's 4/5 of tequila in there.
Oh, no, you can't drink that.
They should have just added the fifth and put a whole tequila in.
That'll kill you.
Tequila.
That was fucking good.
It's so much booze.
Chris slept through my best joke.
And
I know.
the layout of this place is that it's definitely, it's like if somebody said, hey, we're in Tequila, Mexico. You know what would be great? Oktoberfest. Because they built the tents, and they're all beautiful, all indigenous wood, and they're all the tables are made out of trees that are half cut and raw cut. It's beautiful. It's an amazing place. It's super cool. But the reason this place is there is because they will serve you from a normal size half-liter portion, 16 ounces, give or take, like a human-sized one for like $3, all the way up to that cocksucker for what is, with the U.S. exchange rate, $300.
Wow.
Ouch.
Yeah, but if you divide it up 60 ways, it's not that bad.
Yeah,
right. Because it is like 60 servings. It's insane.
It needs to have a tap on it.
Well, it comes, you dip into it.
Okay.
It comes with a ladle and you dip into it.
Okay.
Now, it would be one thing if I said that we went there and one guy got the hero award and everybody clapped him off because he bought one of those. There was one of those being sold about every 45 to 70 seconds. And the tables, get an 8-top table there, and people are legit dressed up super nice and super cowboy hats. They are there to dance. And mariachi bands come on every 20 minutes, 30 minutes. The music never stops. There's all kinds of food there. But when you see a human being come out to the table next to us, very reasonable, 5 liters. It's a gallon and a half. That was a 5-top. They had a gallon and a half. This is the kind of place you go when you do not plan on leaving.
So we know there's tequila in it, but what else is in it?
You can have it built out any way you want. Okay. So they have a menu board, so you can have any of your different types of tequila that you might like. You can have your different mixers that you might like, right? There's about 8 different ways to drink this thing. But what just kills you is when you see
The Hangover.
When you see
I
the
think
volume
4 bottles of tequila. Yeah.
Yeah, when you see the volume of stuff that's coming out of that place, it's just apeshit crazy. And this is a place, by the way, that is where tequila comes from. So even if you're just walking down the street in tequila, there are people handing you beverages constantly, samples. They're trying to get you to come into their place. And they're being fucking generous. I mean, generous. It is outrageous. And I'm going to throw the video up so people can see it if you care to. They don't stop moving. Like, these guys are making what is the equivalent of a margarita. There's about 40 limes going in there.
Is that fast forwarding?
No, that is legit real speed. Look at the people walking in the background.
Wow.
That guy is nonstop, right? And then when you see them open 3 bottles of tequila at the same time and dump all 3 bottles at once into one of these things. And that's the small, like that's the normal size. Yeah. And then there comes the sauce, right? And so this is a small one. So this is probably going to have 1 bottle of tequila in it. Here comes all your squirt, right? Because this is like a Paloma, right? So they'll build it anyway. When you look at the menu, you can see all the different ways you can drink it, all the different ingredients. There's 3 bottles of squirt right in the face hole, Yeah.
I can hear the sizzle.
And here comes.
Oh, look at that. It never bubbled over. Like, how did they stop it from bubbling
It's
over?
the perfect size. It's made for that.
Well, and I like the way he uses
He's
the
probably
knife
done this before.
to give it the bris, and he just literally hacked the top of the bottle off with a machete.
Yeah.
And there goes a liter of tequila. There it goes. Straight to your liver.
All right,
Yeah.
let's get rid of this bottle.
Yeah, let's get rid of this bottle.
He just rang its neck. He was like,
Well,
fuck
he wants
you,
to get the
bottle.
last drop out of it.
Bottle of squirt.
And 1 more bottle of squirt. Right, there you go. And that's it. And that's what they do hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of times a day.
Was that iced or just,
It's iced, yeah. There's ice in there. And it's bonkers. And you can order it with or without ice, depending on, some people come in
think
with
we've,
a bag of ice, and they'll just order it without ice.
I think
Yeah.
we found our Bandcamp drink.
Oh, it's crazy. And look at this stupid thing. It's bonkers. It's so much booze.
We've got that
It's
Igloo
out of control.
cooler. I think that's what this is going to get.
Yeah. And it's funny because, you can batch this out
You
ahead
have
of
to
time
make
if
it.
you want.
You have to make it in an Irish version, though.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah. Right.
Oh, no, I meant for
Yeah.
Bandcamp. For
Yeah.
Mid-Ohio, we'll do a Jameson's.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's so funny to watch it. And when we left tequila, we were like, okay, we've had a long day. We've been drinking. We've had our day. And I'm just wanting to think about the 2-hour ride back to Guadalajara. And I'm ready. And at this point, the temperature dropped to about 98, right? And so we were like, okay. And then we see Armando pull off to the side like he had a flat tire. And I was like, why is he pulling over? We've only left tequila like 5 minutes ago, 10 minutes ago. And it was for this fucking place. And we had no idea. And so they ordered charcuterie boards. They had all kinds of food come out. And then next thing I know, it's these cantaritos, these fucking things. And damn it, man, they have a special sink just for throwing up.
Nice. The vomitorium.
It is. It's what it is. So yeah, it's a crazy, crazy thing. And I've always said, it's a summertime and I'm drinking, my preferred drink is tequila because you get the energy. It doesn't give you the depression. It's pretty amazing stuff. But
now, the dudes that were there, right?
Yeah.
Like not your scooter buddies, but like the regular
the other
guys.
1,800 people that were there for Oktoberfest.
Was there a lot of boots with the big
Oh,
toes?
100%.
And
Absolutely.
so they're getting really drunk, and then they're walking around with the big toes.
No, they're not walking around. They're dancing
Dancing.
aggressively, hard, with women, and like moves that they've been working on for generations.
Yeah.
And the band fires up, like an 8 or 12 piece band shows up with all the brass instrumentation.
You can't be mad with the mariachi band,
It's Oktoberfest. Even the music sounds like Oktoberfest.
Really?
Because of all the horns and the...
Oh, okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Horns and accordion. I've never.
Exactly.
The crossover is amazing.
The crossover's insane.
Oh, okay.
And so then a guy that was there was like, oh, do you know there's like an entire tribe of German people that moved in here hundreds of years ago, and they're pretty sure that's where the instrumentation came from. Pretty clever.
That makes sense.
It makes perfect sense. So it was bonkers. And it's one of those things that if you are thinking about like, I want to do the tequila train or something like that, do it. Just fucking do it. If you like tequila, you will love tequila by the time you're done. You'll get on the train in Guadalajara. You'll out to tequila. You'll do all the funny, stupid shit in tequila. Here's the thing. No American tourists. No. But there is a shit ton of Mexican tourists. So all the people that live in Mexico City and places like that, this is where they go to get in touch with the nature and to be part of that party. It's cool.
I didn't like tequila until band camp last year. And then
That was called Cantarito El Cuero.
When you say get in touch with nature, is that when they get hammered and get naked and run through the field? It's like,
It's pretty crazy, man. Yeah. It's pretty wild. We weren't there at night. We were there at, I think when we rolled in, it was like 4 p.m. and the place was pretty chill. It was pretty mellowed out. We left at about 6:30 and it was full on rager. So like the 2.5 hours that we were there, it went from being like, this is nice.
That's my favorite.
To being like, wow.
I love going to places like that. Like when a lot of times we go on our rides on Sundays, we'd go out to that Twin Oaks place or whatever you guys would go out, remember?
Yeah.
And we'd get there and it'd be like not many people. No. And then by the time we were leaving, like the band was playing, people were everywhere. It's kind of fun to watch that happen,
to watch it grow. It is fucking hilarious. So yeah, if you get a chance to check it out, the Cantaritos El Cuero is fucking cool. Yeah, it's really neat. Had a great time, and it was so definitely strongly recommend. But we did all the cool stuff. We went to Tlaquepaque, which is great. It's they shut the streets down in the town years and years ago. They closed up the streets. They were too small for car traffic anyway, so they said fuck it. And then when that happened, all the restaurants and the businesses and everything just pushed into that area. So it's over a mile long that you walk, and it's all artisan shops and all kinds of cool stuff and leather workers, and it was just neat stuff. Really, really worth the trip. And then just the music and the food and the booze just never stops. It's just, you just go from one party into the other the whole way down the street. It was great. It was super cool. They definitely fucking know how to do it. There ain't no doubt about it. They've got it on lockdown. They've got it figured out. And everybody was just outrageously nice, like super duper nice to everybody. So yeah, much love for everything they got going on. But about that, remember we talked about our buddy Benedito Ramirez? He checked out and said, hey, look, I would give you my bikes to ride, but I'm going to my daughter's wedding this very same weekend. And he's got a grip of cool bikes and cars in his garage. And it turns out he's a Guadalajara native. And he sent us a message though, because he missed us. He missed me. And so he said, I just got back in town from my girl's wedding in Tapalpa. If you or your wife and the Baileys are still around and would like to get dinner or meet today or tomorrow, just please let me know. We can arrange something. This is every person I met, by the way, in Mexico. Every person I met in Mexico was like, no. I know there's a party tonight, but you have to come to my house. We want to feed you because you're a visitor. You're here from some other city, from some other state. I had about 12 offers to go to other places and do things. And I was like, I'm just here for the rally, man. I'm doing the rally stuff, but I really appreciate the offer. He says, I hope you enjoyed a Vespa MX because the city's been hot as hell for the last days. Can confirm. It looks and is much nicer after the rainy season when everything is green. Everything was not green. It was perfect that you did not get to use my Vespa. After 4 years of flawless operation, it failed days before the event. Oh, man. Thankfully, it did just as I was arriving to my house. It's dumped gas all over my garage. And it stopped after I closed the fuel cock valve, but it started again, so his float needles obviously gefucked. And he says, I'm not a good mechanic, but there's no broken hoses. Something's jacked inside the carburetor, which is where it's dripping from. Yeah. Luckily, you did not get to use it, and it did not happen to you. Well, it did happen to my friend with one arm that I was just telling you about, because that Helix he borrowed took a shit on him. So him and his girl, and he's the only automatic transmission bike is the Helix. And so that bike took a dump on him. The Helix quit working. The 86 Helix with very few miles, fuel pump. And fuel pump went away. So Armando, our key, was super cool. He loaned him the bike he was riding, which is a Vespa Primavera modern one. And so that's how generous it is. Like the guy literally gave up his own bike that he was going to ride in the ride so that Adam and Nicole could have a bike to ride. That's really cool.
Maybe that's something to talk about later in the podcast about E15.
E15 is going to be a big deal for all of us, right? We're starting to see problems now. So anyway, this guy says, when I was 14, my father decided that any money I needed for leisure, I would have to earn on my own. Housing, education, clothing, that's what he would give me. But if I wanted to go to the movies or dating or anything else, I was on my own. So he and my best friend, they were friends. They had agreed to this. So we both started working in the afternoons at my friend's family's tire shop, but at different locations, while he was attending 8th grade at a private German school where obviously none of my classmates had regular jobs. Because I'm guessing at the private German school, the parents aren't making them work at a tire shop to pay for their incidentals. Right? Because at the private German school, I got a feeling I know which is the way this is headed, right? So to get to
the
work
versus the greasers.
It is. To get to work, my dad allowed me to use a Vespa Chow moped that was at our house and became my first bike. My best friend that was also working with it got a brand new Honda Elite 80, which was so much more powerful than my Vespa Chow, which could barely hit 25 miles an hour. My coworkers named me the Green Hornet because of the moped's noise and color. After a few months, my dad pitied me and brought home an old rusty Franken Vespa. The frame was from 1957. My dad could not find a good 8-inch front tire, so he fitted one from a hot dog cart with squared off shoulders instead of a proper motorcycle tire with round shoulders. The Vespa was terribly unreliable. It would be impossible to restart once the engine was hot. Braking was an act of pure faith. The front tire made it completely unstable in turns, but the Vespa's 125cc two-stroke would leave my best friend's shiny new Honda Elite eating my dust, and that was all I needed and cared for. I kept using the Vespa Chow for work, but used the other Vespa on the weekends so I wouldn't miss my work shifts if it failed. Eventually, my dad became an investor on a brand new Honda motorcycle dealership in Acapulco. If you know about Acapulco, you're going to know why that's a bad idea, because Acapulco used to be fancy, and then it became not so fancy. A terrible business that lasted only a few years, and new motorcycles arrived to my home. A Honda Elite 150 was my third motorcycle, which I then used not only to get to work, but also go to high school, and a CBR 500, which was not a bike that we got. He said, yes, we had that in Mexico and Austria, the 1987 CBR 500F instead of the CBR 600, which I used without my parents' approval on the weekends. The old rusty and unreliable Vespa became forgotten and one day just disappeared from my house. A few years ago, I asked my dad what happened to that Vespa, and he told me that because I stopped using it, he decided to give it away to Juan, a driver that had worked for many years at his construction company. I knew the guy well, but after so many years, I'd lost track of him. After researching, I found out he was still working at a local gas station with one of my dad's previous business partners. I went looking for him. I left him a note at the gas station. He called me right away in the afternoon. Flacco, Skinny, a nickname he used to call me when I was a kid. Where the hell have you been all these years? I asked him about the old Vespa, and he told me he'd used it a couple of times, but was just about to kill himself once and decided to park it for good many years ago. It was still stored at his small house, and he'd paid for license plates until the year before. I asked him if he cared to sell it, and he immediately replied that he would give it to me for free, as it was originally a gift to him from my father. Probably a good idea. Probably made him live a little longer. So I went and looked at it. It was not in good shape, but not much worse than I had used it back in 1985 through 1987. I gave Juan some cash as a sign of gratitude and helped him out. And I thought fixing the Vespa would be quick and cheap. God, did I have no fucking idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, no shit. Yeah, just a little light duty restoration here, right?
Yeah.
I took it to a cousin that had fixed an old VW Bug for me and that also worked on vintage motorcycles. He did a good job on fixing all the cosmetic parts, but eventually had to take it to Jose de la Torre, a local legend among the Vespa fans in Guadalajara, can confirm, who had all the mechanical parts worked and fixed properly, obviously spent a lot more than my original budget. So the Vespa I showed you in my previous email is not just any Vespa. It's the same one that I used over 40 years ago. I managed to recover it, and I'm attaching some pictures that I have from Juan and from the original, the final original shape of the Vespa. So here we have Juan, right? So there you go. And that is definitely an 8-inch wheel with 4 lug nuts. Weirdest thing, though, that is not the right frame. Tom will tell you instantly that headset is like a 50s, like early 50s era headset, and that frame is an 80s frame. So this is a Frankenbike, if ever there was one. Yeah, this is a mix match of parts. And there they are. So this is pretty cool that he got to, and there's the bike when it's finished. So pretty fucking neat, man. Pretty cool. That's a great story. So really, really love that.
That came out really nice.
Didn't it come out cool?
Yeah.
That's a neat looking bike. And for being a Frankenbike that had like a mid 80s, replacement frame put on it, it looks really cool. Yeah, it's neat. So I think that's really neat. I absolutely love stories like that. It's cool. And then he shows pictures of his wife, and this is why I think it's funny. Go ahead and look at this shot, and this tells you this is a Mexican wedding right here.
Oh yeah.
That even the bride is wearing a cowboy hat. Yeah, that's pretty cool. So
you can't see the guns, but they're there.
Our guy's in the black suit, right?
Oh, nice.
And his daughter married like a 6.5 footer by the looks of it.
Holy shit.
Yeah, for real.
Or they're all really short.
Well, I mean, Mexico. Oh. Yeah. So, but isn't that cool? That's just, so that's Bernardo Ramirez Garza. So cool. Really neat. Thank you for the really cool email. And that's the end of my tribute to Mexico. Let's let the party commence on a non-Mexican note. In the news, if you have a Harley Davidson, take a second and check the fucking recalls. I don't care what it is. If your Harley is less than 10 years old, check the fucking recalls. I think there's a chance, probably a 75% chance if you own a Harley Davidson, there's an active recall on it right now. I don't know what the hell happened, but just all the recalls popped at the same time for Harley Davidson. Ooh. It's not a good time to be a Harley Davidson owner. 2024 and newer, the big bikes, the FLFs, FLHs, all the large frame bikes, apparently 88,000 bikes are affected by this recall, where they're having oil pressure problems again, where doing something stupid like even checking your oil could cause you to be covered head to toe in boiling oil. That's not great. Probably a bad move. This is not the same problem, they were careful to point out, as the problem that all the Milwaukee 8 motors had for the Generation 1 Milwaukee 8s in 2017, where the oil just wouldn't stay in the right part of the engine. And so you'd stop getting lubrication to the valves and the parts of the engine that really need the lubrication, and the lubrication would stay in the sump and not go to the parts of the motor that need lubricating. Turns out having a sump full of oil is really great, but distributing that oil to the places that need to be wet is greater, right? What do you mean? I got 3 quarts oil in this son of a bitch. It should be fine. Yes, but it's not going where it needs to go. That's the problem.
Oil frame triumphs. The frame's full of oil.
Frame's full of oil. But is
going anywhere.
Any of it going to the valves? Rear brake line failure. That's never a good thing. 17,000 Softails, rear brake line gets in touch with the body control module, whatever that is, and lose the rear brake entirely. Just fucking gonzo. Probably chafes against it, causes a rub through the line. This is my favorite one. 8,500 Sportsters, the Sportster S, the sexy one. Cracking the upper triple clamp.
Ooh.
You got Chinese bikes. You got pit bikes. I mean, you don't see the triple clamps. Cracking.
Okay, yeah. So like years ago, there was a Moto Guzzi, and I can't remember, Tom.
It was the V11.
It was the V11, right? There's the V11. What do you think? 93, 98?
Well, it was the same one with the lifter problems.
Was it?
The one you've
the
got
hydraulics
at the one you've got, the brown one.
Yeah.
Has I think it has the replacement lower triple already.
Okay.
So it's the
People called us
V11 aluminum and stone and all that stuff.
when we became a dealer. These were still fresh enough in the thing that people call us all the time and be like, "Hey, I need a lower triple clamp for my Guzzi because I got the recall." And I'm like, "That recall was over 10 years ago. I don't know what they're doing to support it, and we certainly haven't been trained on replacing them. So, call Guzzi, right? See what they want to do about it." But for real, triple clamp failure is terrifying.
Yeah, no shit.
It's terrifying. That's the front end of your bike becoming the back end of your bike real fast, and that's a bad ride.
I suppose I'd rather have the top one go. I mean, unless it went so bad that your handlebar fell.
But I mean, like that's like like I've seen those videos where guys lose their entire back wheel and they just pull to the side of the road. I've seen guys lose the front tire and pull to the side of the road.
Exactly.
But your triple tree goes, you got nothing.
You got nothing.
Yeah.
You got nothing. Yeah. Yeah. One of our friends had a Zero FX, the dirt bike style one like Hofford has. And that one where the welds, where the chrome moly steel is square cut, it's square stock, and it is welded to the the bearing tube, right? The headstock tube. And those welds, both welds at the bottom of it failed.
Wow.
So both welds at the bottom failed. So the thing became a chopper, right? It became a stretched out front end Zero. And my buddy John is a super, super smart guy. And he had a ratchet strap. And he fixed it, well, enough to get him home by doing a diabolical wrap with the ratchet strap and reconnected the entire triple headstock to his frame. Genius. But that's not everybody who can pull off some
just
shit
go
like
right
that.
back up to 80. Yeah, you're fine.
Yeah, I don't think he did right back today. I think he limped it home.
I would have just wheelied it home.
So that is super bad news bears. And we're talking about, we just posted the picture from Kurt Edwards, our friend, where he had the photograph of the dealership that was charging $5,000 over for market adjustment fees on a brand new Harley for the CVO, because it's like, well, this is a hard bike to get and we have it. So we're going to charge $5,000 over MSRP just because we can. And I looked it up. And by the way, that was not a unique incident. I found a lot of dealerships that were charging $5,000 over MSRP for the CVOs.
Damn.
It's crazy. And how can you be that deep in the Kool-Aid where you're like, I want that 2026 CVO so much, I'm willing to spend an extra $5,000 for it?
Like, here's the thing.
Yeah.
Show me the difference in ride experience from a bike that you can get at your shop for $9,000 and that.
Right.
Besides maybe like a little like, oh shit, this is fast. Because they're putting some bigger motors in
They are
them,
huge.
but it's not worth $30,000 to feel
in this
that
case,
little bit
$62,000.
more. No, but I'm saying, okay, basically $50,000 more than you could get a bike at your shop.
It's fucking crazy, man.
The good news is in 5 years, they're going to be $8,000.
Yes. And you're right. And you're absolutely right. Because when we look at all those CVOs like that we took in trade, I'm talking about gold key motorcycles, Harley Davidson legit gold key CVOs that we took in, like that Ultra. I took in a 2013 Ultra with all the candy and all the goodies. The guy spent almost $50 on it. And we took it in at the shop as a trade for a Vespa that was $9,000 as a straight across trade. And if you tell me you don't think that guy he was hurting for certain on his 7-year-old bike. But it was what it was. Nobody wanted to give him any money for it. Terrible.
Think about those poor guys like we saw at the Piston Power Show that did the big wheel speaker box motorcycles.
Have you watched any of those Barrett Jackson auctions for those?
Oh, yeah, it was terrible, right?
Oh, my Lord. For those big donks with big wheels on them?
Yeah.
They're going for like $6,000.
Yeah, nothing.
Yeah.
It's the new Sucker Punch Sally or OCC chopper.
Right, yeah.
But I mean, like that one guy said, I was walking by, he had $125,000 into that bike.
Yeah, that's
And I'm
disgusting.
like, that thing's going to be worth $5,000. in like you're going to see it on Craigslist for $5,000 in like a couple years. And it's now, and I'm not disrespecting the work that goes into them. Those dudes do amazing work. Like all the paint was wonderful. Like it was beautiful looking bike if you're into that kind of bike.
Yeah.
But it just hurts my brain. Like, going into it, you're just throwing.
You know, it would depend on why you built it. Were you building it for yourself and that's what you wanted?
Yeah.
Or are you secretly in the back of your mind like, I'm going to build this badass bike and someday I'm going to sell it for money? You know, like.
Yeah, I don't know.
And then you went and you took it to Barrett Jackson and you're like, oh.
Well, it might just be bragging rights too, because if you're into the sound thing and you're into the bike, you know what I mean? Maybe it's just like, hey, I won the show. Like it's a show car. Yeah, I guess it's kind of in that regard, but still.
But I don't think Barrett Jackson's been extremely kind to bikes. But Phil, didn't you mention another auction that actually was quite successful?
Yeah. So you talk about the big wheel losing $100,000 of its value over like 5 or 6 years. You know, the big wheel chopper, the hot and heavies, all that stuff. How much money you can lose? Well, there is a little light at the end of the tunnel because it turns out over in the UK, we all know who Mike Halewood is. Mm-hmm. We all know who Giacomo Agostini is. Hey, these are some pretty strong names. Well, the MV Agusta, the 1965 500cc Grand Prix, we can throw it up if you want, at the Stafford sale. This is a bike that when we talk about provenance, has not just the provenance of Mike Halewood, but also Giacomo Agostini, teammates that rode this motorcycle to championships.
That's such a good-looking motorcycle.
It is a great-looking motorcycle. It is a great-looking motorcycle. That went for well over $1 million.
987 pounds.
Yeah.
100,000 pounds.
Yeah.
Do you know what? If you had you will have the picture, but
I'm sorry.
I'll
go back to it.
But if you have that picture, this is what if any cafe racer is ever right.
Yes.
Is because it has that straight fucking line like that bike.
Yeah.
Here, like look at it, like right there.
It's beautiful.
See how like underneath the tank and then the seat and everything is a nice straight fucking line. That's all these. If your bike doesn't have that, don't make it into a fucking cafe racer. If it's a Honda fucking Shadow, it's not going to work because it doesn't have that fucking line. That's important.
How many cc's is that? What's that?
500 cc's.
All right, that's like $2,000 per cc.
It is a lot of money.
That's out of my league.
It's a whole lot of money. And, we've seen...
I'll take the 1cc bike.
Right. We've seen the Honda RC 166s. We've seen those bikes go for big, big money. But $1 million, like clearing the $1 million mark. And at current exchange rates for, pound to dollars, that's $1.3, $1.5 million, right? For that particular bike. It's crazy. And what I think is bonkers is that they really did. They thought for sure it was going to sell for between 160 and 220,000.
Wow.
So they must not have even set a reserve.
Whatever they did, it just shot right past it. 967,000 pounds. I mean, that's fucking crazy.
And where is it going? Like, what's happening to it?
Let's find out.
Like, was it an dude who bought it, or was it a museum?
It's going to be a museum. Yeah, it's going to be a museum, but it's just, oh my Lord.
But that's still a lot of money for even a museum to pay.
It's a lot of money for anybody to spend unless you have all of that money. And it's gorgeous. I mean, obviously.
Unless it was like a private museum of a racer or somebody who's like,
look at the butt on that thing.
It's gorgeous, isn't it? It's so simple, but it's beautiful. It's simple, but it's beautiful.
I think it's okay. There are other bikes that I like more.
Well, if this was the Honda 6-cylinder,
yes. Well, I just showed him a picture of the Honda CR750.
Yeah,
it's always been like,
absolutely gorgeous bike, and easier to maintain, easier to live with, easier to do everything for, because those are parts that exist. So that is a lot of fucking money. Don't get me wrong, that's a ton of money, but that is a 1965 GP winner, classic championship, Isle of Man bike. That's all the things. Giacomo Agostini, obviously, Barry Sheen. That is some really, really. I'm sorry. That Halewood. That is a really, really cool bike. But then for Sleepy, I got this. This is the one. The RG 500. Don't call it a Gamma. It's the XR14 raced by Barry Sheen.
Oh yeah.
Right. 1977. magnesium wheels, Campagnolos, triple disc brakes. For 1977, some pretty spicy fucking technology. And what a difference, by the way, between 1965 and 1977. Look at these two bikes.
Yeah.
What a difference.
But you know what was crazy? Like when you look at these race bikes like this thing, right?
Yeah.
And the
sponsored by Brute 33.
Right. But the fairings on it and stuff. One of the reasons that I liked certain sport bikes over the years was that even the ones that came from the factory still just kind of had normal fairings that you could just like race fairings almost.
Race fairings, yeah.
Instead of like the ones that totally encompassed shit. Because it just felt more legit. Like, you know, like even the ZX7, the ZX7Rs had like
this thing's a bag of Zeus fasteners, you know? It's like, it's all the cool things. It's just everything you'd ever want.
Oh, that thing's dope.
Yep. Barry Sheen's race bike. Can't get any cooler
it's so
than that.
Crazy because if you look at that and you look at like, you know, whatever the closest factory motorcycle of the time was, it's not that different. And now you look at a MotoGP bike and a fucking whatever the closest, well, there's nothing.
This is a
close.
2-stroke 4-cylinder.
No, I get it, but I'm saying, but like
wild.
the running gear. I mean, okay, the engines, but like if you look at the wheels,
the brakes and
the
everything
running
else,
gear, all that
right.
stuff, it's like pretty standard fare.
I love the giant bubble sometimes. Like, and it started with like Mad Max with those bikes, and they had those big giant bubble. And it's like,
the slipping on the MGO Viper fairing on any motorcycle in the world instantly makes it cooler.
Way cooler.
Yeah, much cooler. Now,
then if you get to the Rickman level, then it's fucking orgasmic.
Yeah.
Any fucking bike with the Rickman.
I got a buddy who collects them. Yeah. And this sold for £500,000, which is about $750,000 in our money, right? And that's amazing.
I think I had a
certain
model.
Auctions are going crazy. Yeah.
I know I had a whole bunch of Tamiya bike models I made like years and years and years ago, and I swear I had that as a model.
It would be wrong if you didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah. If in 1977 I was making a model kit of a race bike, this would be the one I would make, undoubtedly.
these are provenance though too.
God, like, it's such provenance.
It's not just a really nice, like the Skull Bandit Gixxer that sold for $3,500.
Oh, I know, that fucking hurt me. Yeah. I would have figured out a way to pay for it if I knew it was even going to be close to that. Holy shit.
This is one of two. There were two of these bikes built. So two of these machines were made for that 1977 campaign. Two bikes. Like, you think about that even too. When a team goes to race now, they go out with 8 or 10 or 12 bikes. This year, 1977, the whole of Suzuki, all their money, their biggest guy, Barry Sheen, their winning guy, they had 2 bikes. That is not a deep well to draw from. That means 2 guys can fuck a day up and you're out of the race, right? That is really, really wild, the standards and how different they were then till today.
And you can't, they had to hand build those 2 bikes. There's so much that went into them. They
You're
could
not
probably
joking.
only have 2 because it just took too much.
Yeah. I need you to make this wheel for me, but I need you to make it 75% lighter than any wheel you've ever made.
It took them a year and a half to find that much magnesium back then.
It's really cool. I just think that's neat. I really get a kick out of that. I think it's funny to look at a 1977 racing motorcycle and see rubber that would be substandard by today's. You look at that tire and you're like, oh yeah, I got those. I got those Avon Road Riders on.
So speaking of racing,
all kinds of my bikes.
this year at Mid Ohio, he was telling us last week that they're going to feature all these road racers and all the bikes, and they're bringing them out of museums. So this year is going to be the year at Mid Ohio to see all these. Like you're saying, bikes with prominence that, how do you say it?
Provenance.
There you go.
Provenance.
I knew I was going to get made fun of.
Wait. We got to come up with, what did he say? Provenance?
No, I almost
said
provolone.
Provolone.
Yes, provolone. Exactly.
Providence. It's in Rhode Island.
That's what I think I said. Anyways, I was really excited about
The problem is he's got the Lamar lip.
Yeah, I know. The last Lamar lip.
The last Lamar lip in Australia.
Oh, and it looks so good too. The Lamar lip is the fucking thing.
What the hell? Okay. Anyway, little weird side noise happening out there. But that's crazy that kind of money transpired when we were all kind of getting used to the idea that everything was going cheap.
Yeah.
Everything was going crazy cheap and you weren't going to make money on a motorcycle sale. And these guys just come out and just hold my beer and watch this shit.
But it's not the motorcycle. I think John's right.
It's the history.
It's the history.
It's the history. It's Agostini. It's Halewood.
Provolone.
It's Sheen. It's the provolone.
How'd you like to be the guy that bought that motorcycle 3 years ago And then you sold it for like $100,000. This guy thought he was going to flip it for 150 or what he said, and it goes for $1 million.
Yeah, they did say that the one bike had been, last time it had crossed a bench was 40 years ago or 30 years ago. Okay. So it'd been hiding for a long time. But when you bring something like that out, there's always going to be that guy who's just going to be like, oh, $1 million? Okay, I want to have that.
I'm not going to say anything about it because I promised I wouldn't, but I met a dude that has a car that after all this research and stuff and looking into all this shit and like who he got it from and even the whole story on that is insane. And then it's a race car from a certain thing. And like another one that was close to it recently sold for almost $8 million.
What?
And nobody knows this one exists. So he's like, he lives by me and he's got it under wraps.
Well, yeah.
And he has a hot rod shop. So he restores shit. So
right.
He's not some schmuck.
Right.
So it had some damage and they're fixing it in the way that they would made the car.
They would have fixed it then. Right.
And I mean, so this thing is going to debut in a couple years and it's going to come out of nowhere.
Right.
But it has all the paperwork.
Right. You got to be able to prove that it was what it says it is.
Yeah. And it was one of 12 made of these.
Yeah. Of this particular car.
Yeah. And so it's going to come out and it's going to like I said, this other one is a well-known one, $7-some million. And this is like, everybody thinks the collection's done.
And it's not.
And this is going to fucking come out of nowhere.
Oh, that's going to be
really
It's going to be Bucks Deluxe. Yeah. It's going to be outrageous. And then on to the other topic per the show notes. Okay, we all know if you have an owner's manual in your motorcycle, it says to get your oil changed every 3,000 miles or once a year, whichever comes first.
That's what John does.
Right? Yeah. There is no question when you have a book and the book tells you when you should get it serviced. Now, that being said, I happen to own a Honda CRF 250F. And it's not an on-road motorcycle. It's an off-road motorcycle. And so it says how many hours of use I'm supposed to be able to do before I do certain levels of service, certain things for service. Now, what makes this a little complicated is that nowhere on the handlebars of my bike do I see an hour meter. Okay? This has been an issue for me since I had my first Honda MT Elsinore, right? Is that the book says on certain numbers of hours, we should have certain types of service. But unless you're the only 14-year-old in America that's logging how many hours you're riding your bike, you don't know, right? And you can buy digital hour meters. Sure, you can put a digital hour meter on your vehicle, and for every hour the motor's running, it just sits there and tabulates and calculates and tells you how many hours the bike has been going down the road. But if you have an off-roady kind of vehicle that says, okay, 90 hours, do this particular service. Well, I ride like Grandma fucking Walton. Like when I'm on the dirt, I'm not out there ripping and tearing it up. I'm a 56-year-old guy in the dirt. I'm trying not to get injured. My whole goal in riding in the dirt is to come back without broken bones or holes in my body. Right. And I'm not exactly super successful at that based on the amount of metal in my leg and based on the scars and stitches I have near my dick. Okay, we know that I can tend to get hurt on a dirt bike. In fact, most of us here at the table have seen that happen. So I do tend to ride them really, really, really carefully.
I had you hurt on me.
Right. Well, this is the idea, is that if you give me a dirt bike, a 250cc dirty dirt bike, and you give another guy a 250cc dirty dirt bike, the one I'm riding, when you take the oil out of it after 30 hours, the oil is going to look pretty fucking new. And the guy who rides it like he's stolen it after 30 hours, the oil is going to be pretty well fucked, right? So there is a massive difference. Unlike with a street bike that just simply says in the owner's manual, change the oil every 3,000, 4,000, 5,000, 6,000 miles, or once a year, whichever comes first, which at the shop, we can tell you bikes come in today that's a 16-year-old bike that still hasn't had its first service. Can confirm 1,200 miles, has still the factory oil that left the factory in the bike. Way to go, hero.
The good stuff.
The good stuff, right? And we've also had the people that have said, okay, well, I noticed the last time you were in my shop was 12 years ago for an oil service, right?
So you owe us some money.
Why haven't you been here in 12 years? Well, it's said to get my second service at 6,000 miles. And I'm not at 6,000 miles yet. Well, no, you're not. But every piece of rubber on your bike is 13 goddamn years older than it was last time you stopped in.
I just did a fuel pump and a first service on the same bike.
On the same bike.
That's 500 miles.
Exactly. How the fuck? Okay, the fuel pump is supposed to be something that dies after a dozen years.
Yeah.
The 500-mile service is supposed to be something we do 2 weeks after you buy your bike, right? It's supposed to be 2 or 3 weeks, maybe a month after you buy your bike. And it's people, I don't want to bring this bike in. I just got it a month ago. Well, but we got to make sure that all the people at the factory did their job right. We have fasteners that do heat and cold cycle, and those fasteners become loose when they heat and cold cycle. So they all need to be worked out again. So we need to make sure the factory did their job right. We need to make sure that those fasteners get retorqued because they're going to change when they left the factory. And your break-in oil is literally designed in many cases to be, I hate to use the term, machining oil. It's designed to be okay for knocking the edges off of the metal bits. It's not great oil that's meant to be in your bike for 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 miles. It's meant to do a very short fucking shitty job and get out of your bike, right? And
service interval is a service interval.
Exactly.
If you say my service interval is 6,000 miles, then you need to calculate that service interval based on the most hardest,
6,000 I can give it.
Right.
Right.
I mean, at 6, I can ride it however I want. There's a rev limiter. There's this, there's that. If I'm caning it for 6,000 miles, then I need to change my oil. And it's
6,000 miles.
If I'm teetotaling it, so to me, the whole idea of, we're going to have this special AI or whatever that's going to tell you if you've used it too hard and you need to change it earlier. Well, then you're lying about your service interval.
So predictive maintenance is going back to something. In the military, we had preventive maintenance checks and services, PMCS. I know that Pete knows it very well. Whatever vehicle you're on, there's a chart, and it says for that particular vehicle, these are the things you need to do. Just like if a pilot were to jump in a Cessna, there's a walk around that he has to do on the ground on that Cessna. It's not in the movies where you just see the guy jump in the cockpit of the airplane and haul ass. No, you got to literally grab a book and walk around that cocksucker and check a whole lot of things before you can go in the air. Now, in the military, we would pull maintenance on vehicles. If the vehicle was being used in the field, we would have our daily maintenance. Then you'd also have a weekly maintenance, and then you'd have a monthly maintenance, and then you have a maintenance at every scheduled thing. And in the 80s, they were famous for us drawing oil samples. And we would draw oil samples from our vehicles, and we would submit them at the times between big, heavy scheduled services. And then BMO, Battalion Maintenance Organization, would be like, oh, hey, we looked at your oil sample. I know that you're supposed to be 1,800 miles on this Detroit diesel piston-powered engine between the services, or 5,000 miles, or however many hours. But we want you to do a full oil service on that. And it's a 10-level service, which means it has to be done by the operator. So then you're like, oh, that's a shitty day. I wasn't planning on becoming a mechanic today. I thought I was a tanker today. But no, today I'm a mechanic, I guess. Let me get the shitty coveralls on and let me lay under this bitch and dump about 15 quarts of oil. But that is them, the military back in the 80s, saying, we looked at your oil, we did an oil analysis, and we discovered that this machine, due to its age, because it was probably built just after the Korean War or just before the Vietnamese War, and it's probably lived a lot, 30 years longer than it fucking should have, right? But the Army doesn't want to buy a new one, so they're going to do everything they can to keep this ancient fucking thing on the road. And as long as it keeps the smaller bullets away from the guys inside, everybody's happy.
Phil, fix this shit.
Fix this shit, right? So Ducati has got predictive maintenance, and this is for their 450cc dirt bikes. And we talked about now how Triumph has dirt bikes, Ducati has dirt bikes, and people you didn't expect have dirt bikes. So, behind you, we're going to deliver a Shankies. Okay, delivering a Shankies. Shankies alert. We have a Shanky passing through the table. Everybody's got to take a smell of it. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Yeah, it definitely passes the smell test.
Thanks, Tom.
Yeah.
So I can understand this if you have the ECU on board that can do this, and if it can detect the difference between the way I ride my CRF 250, which is so passive.
I'm waiting for the attacks.
Thank you,
I was
Tommy.
attacked violently last week when I mentioned
I'm
this.
just letting finish.
It's
Phil.
okay. It's okay.
I'll attack Phil too. You
Right.
I've already said I hate this.
And you have a link. So
I love it.
they're making an app for your phone, and I can also tell you that if you have a BMW, you have an app for your phone. If you have a Triumph, you have an app for your phone. If you have a Ducati, you have an app for your phone. They've made apps for all these things.
yeah,
I don't think so.
and I'm sure Ducati will not have any access to that information.
Oh no, I 100% guarantee that is the number one thing. When
That's the
we
reason
talk
they're
about-
doing it.
When we talk about anything that there's an app for, his Subaru, my Ford, right? You are in constant communication with the home office. There is a cellular data chip on that board, on that computer, on that ECU that if I'm getting close on an oil change, I'll never have to look at the odometer again in my life.
You just voided your warranty.
My Ford tells me at what percentage I am of my oil change.
We see that on Saturday you ripped your 450 for an hour and a half at rev limit, and now you have exceeded it. So now we told you via this app that you were supposed to change your oil and do a service.
Yep.
But you ignored it you just treated it as a suggestion because there is a normal service interval that's supposed to be there.
Sure.
But we're not, you're going to get fucked on that.
Right. And this is where I think it's interesting. Ducatis have historically had a very aggressive service schedule. And by aggressive, I mean $$ aggressive. Super, super aggressive. And what I think is interesting is they were saying based on Alessandro Lupino's use of the bike, they said it's possible to postpone the servicing, later in the thing by using your bike in a more sedate fashion. Okay. Now, their interval is based on a mid-service, which, by the way, includes replacing the piston.
I screenshotted that part.
Did you? Did you look at that?
The mid-service, which includes piston replacement and valve clearance checks, can fall anywhere between 45 and 60 hours.
Yes, exactly.
But
Piston
that's a dirt bike.
replacement. Piston replacement.
Yeah.
That's the
Piston
mid-service.
replacement at the mid-service.
The full service is replace the bike.
The full service is a complete engine overhaul.
Here comes more. The
Yeah.
full service, which includes a complete engine overhaul, ranges between 90 to 120 hours.
Exactly. And the good news is the service department is only going to charge you 90 to 120 hours to do the service at $140 per hour, right?
And if you're averaging 25 to 30 miles an hour because
Per
off
hour,
road
right.
you're not going,
Yeah.
that's not a lot of miles.
It's not a lot of miles.
Yeah.
It's not. And so
And this thing is going to, it's never going to predict that you need service after your interval. It's always going to predict that you need it sooner.
Well, I think
Sooner.
that says maybe, and I'm willing to give them the benefit of the doubt because they did use in this description, they did say range from 45 to 60. So if I'm the guy driving it, Mr. Slow Pants in the dirt, then okay, I'm going to get 60 hours.
See, John, I mean, I don't get me wrong. I do believe a lot of people are nefarious, whatever, right?
Sure.
But I think if you look at it, if the thing actually works as it describes, right? They're going to save themselves a lot of warranty claims. They're going to save themselves a lot of people blowing shit.
They're not
up
doing
and
it for
stuff.
you, so I agree.
They
They're
not doing it for you.
That's my point. So what I'm saying, but at the same time, for somebody that likes to take care of their bike like me, my Chevy.
Those people don't need that shit. They'll just change their oil. They'll go out and ride it, and they'll change it every time
No,
they
I
ride
do,
it.
but
Now,
I'm
hold
saying,
on.
They
my
know how
Chevy-
many hours they put on their
Raise
bike.
your hand at this table if you know what the warranty is on this Ducati Desmo 450 MX. Does anyone at the table know what the warranty is? Would anyone like to guess how many years the warranty is?
Half,
Anyone?
6 months.
6 months? Anyone?
I'd give it a year.
A year?
Yeah.
It's 3 months. Okay? The warranty is. Wow. Now hold on. I'm going to help clarify that even better. The warranty is 3 months or 20 hours of engine operation. So if you're worried about them taking away your precious 3-month warranty, that by the way is also 3 months or 20 hours, whichever comes first, that's halfway to the first service
the
interval.
First weekend I get a dirt bike, I can put 20 hours on.
Yeah,
the
that's what I was
fucking
saying.
dirt
This is
bike.
my point.
I'd rather rebuild carburetors every day for the rest of my life than own a Ducati.
but this is the point about that. And you have to understand when they're giving you this thing and they're like, oh, that's so they can take your warranty away early. They're barely starting you with one.
Yeah.
You got 20 hours, right? There's not much.
So in that case, then I'm with John. They're probably trying to fuck you.
Well, of course, if the warranty's only 20 hours and they're like, we don't even want to pay out for the first 20 hours, then the argument that the app is trying to fuck you is totally right.
Is fucking you.
No, 100%.
If it's anything that has to do with the internet,
well, no, because now they have a digital escape plan. Oh, they want to get sued because their bike blew up? No, I can see you were riding hard. So now I agree with you.
Does anybody
right now we are fucking all of our listeners.
Does anybody here at the table know on our Triumph dirt bikes that we saw at the Triumph dealership?
Yeah.
Does anybody here know how long the warranties are on the Triumph dirt bikes?
I bet that's actually way more considerable. They might have like
at least
a 2-year warranty.
Okay.
I'm gonna guess twice Ducatis.
So you say 6 months?
Yes.
Okay. Anyone else?
I'd say a year.
It's 1 month.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Well, that's okay. So we're talking on their race bikes.
This is their dirt bikes.
Their race dirt
The
bikes.
ones that were in the room
They
with
might
us
as
when
well.
we saw
I mean, they should just
the TFX and TFE.
When it comes to a competition bike, you really you're lucky to even have a one.
Yeah,
That's
and I
my
guess-
point.
And a dirt bike is different.
My
You're
point
right.
is to say that the app that's judging how much you should maintain it based on how hard you're using it, the argument that the app is there to fuck you out of your warranty. Your warranty was 30 days if it was a Triumph bike.
Yeah.
Your warranty was 90 days if it's a Ducati bike, or 20 hours, whichever comes first. How hard are they fucking you?
So wait, so just
You
for
didn't have
reference,
anything to start with.
Can somebody pipe
It ain't
up
the warranty.
and look what is the warranty about like a KX 250,
I still think they'll
I'll
find
do
a
it.
way to
like a
fuck you. Up.
Kawasaki, like just to see because that's a pretty fucking high performance bike.
All right.
Whatever version of the KX.
Sure, I mean, and you're right. And
Well, Yamaha's still making a YZ 125 and a 250.
okay,
Right.
anyone ready? New
Yeah.
Kawasaki KX 250 warranty 30 days.
Okay, so wow, so
Yep.
off road, you're just fucked.
If you pay for the Kawasaki Protection Plus,
You get 60 days.
72 months.
Oh,
That's basically paying for your service in advance. You're prepaying for service.
Here's the thing, though. Which
Yeah.
a warranty, what you want is a warranty you never need. Mm-hmm. And I feel like on a Ducati, you're going to need that warranty
Well,
that
yes,
you don't
of course.
have.
Again, you're supposed to have a pit crew,
Yeah.
right? The Triumph dirt bike, you're supposed to have a pit crew,
Yeah.
right? When Kawasaki says, "Oh yeah, we're giving you a Kawasaki," and it says in the Kawasaki dirt bike range, small dirt bikes, KX 125 to KX 250, it goes between the KX 250 at 30 days up to 6 whole months. So again, they're going to fuck you out of your warranty. You didn't have one to start with, pal. So that's not the hill I'm going to die
what's
on.
the SSR warranty?
They're 6 months or a year.
Yeah.
Yeah, Honda's dirt bike warranties I think are 6 months. I'm going to look up. Because when you get into dirt bikes in general, the warranties are just nothing there, right? I mean, there's usually it's like 30 days of parts or something like that. 30 days parts only, right? Yeah, that's legit. That's pretty common. When we look at bikes that are pretty
I still think it's dumb.
KLX 300, that's a 12-month warranty. So like that's a very common motorcycle, a KLX 300 that a lot of people buy as a dual purpose street and dirt bike.
And it's not highly tuned.
It's not highly tuned.
It shouldn't blow
So
itself up.
They give you 12 months, right? And then you can do Kawasaki Protection Plus and pay
That's
for
not cool.
12, 24, 36, or 48 months.
Who just
So
plugged
you can
in their
pay more
guitar
than
amp?
that. Yeah, it didn't sound too bad in my headphones.
This is a good question from the chat.
Yeah.
I wonder how much the hourly cost of operation of that Ducati if you have it serviced at the dealership.
Oh, shit.
Because think about what's it like? What are the Ducatis are what 290?
Whoa.
Oh, it can be
What
a lot.
happened?
I'm not getting into my headphones. Whatever that is,
No,
it's
that's
not
your
in my
guys'.
headphones.
It's my headphones or whatever.
Oh, there we go. Okay, that was it. Whatever that was.
Everybody's headphones. I
You
don't
got
know
it.
what happened. What did you guys do?
Well, you reached over there. It went. That's why I went and touched it because it started buzzing, and I was like, "Is it?" my
I
head
didn't touch
going bad?
anything. I touched up here.
Yeah, well, I don't know. When you touched
No, but
up there, it
that's
started
not-
buzzing.
That's nothing.
What did you
Yep.
do?
All right, we're over that.
We're over that. We're done with that. It's crazy. I mean, it is legitimate. Piston replacement, valve clearance check every 45 hours. They are saying street pricing on that is about $2,000
Fucking sound guy.
every 45 hours. Yeah, that's bonkers. Yeah, so that's a lot. So, and we're talking about $11,000, 450cc competition dirt bike.
Yeah.
Right. So don't think. But the reason that I like this is if I'm about to buy a used one of these, if I'm a third tier racer, right? I'm hoping to get in on a wild card. I want to go out and race, and maybe just by the sheer luck of the draw, we've all seen Supercross and how it works. I want to try to get into that last chance shootout. And so I'm going to go out and get a couple of year old bike. I'm going to go to, a bike that I can compete on, even though I don't have a pit crew, even though I don't have a trailer, right? So I'm probably going to buy something like this a year or two old. Well, if I can buy this from you and you have the app, I can take a look and see how much you fuck this bike. And that could be worth something.
Well, but no, because I have a 12-year-old daughter, so I just have her hack the app and then change it, whatever. So
You just assume that it's been fucked.
Right. Well, that's the trick is you could then have the thing. I know with zero electric motorcycles, even the old ones, even the older zeros, I can, through their app, I can take a look at the health of the batteries, not what percentage the battery is charged at. I don't give a fuck about that. I'm talking about the difference between the cells, how healthy the cells are. What is the gap in millivolts of voltage between the cells? And if I see a big gap in the strength of the cells, then I know this battery's not been maintained well, and that this battery is probably not going to give me a long lifespan. And when we're talking about a $4,000 battery, that's something I really care about. Well, we have one in the shop that we just sold, zero, and the customer that was buying it is not an idiot. He's an electrical engineer, and he knows these things. And he says, hey, get the app, take a screenshot of the app when you're testing the health of the cells, and let me see what that delta is. Let me see the millivolt difference across the cells. And I was like, ooh, I don't even know. I haven't even thought about that. That's genius. I can check the health of this battery, not how many volts it has, not how long it takes to charge, not how long it takes to discharge, but literally the pack and see the health of the general pack.
But does it have so with drones, right? Because I did the same thing when you run like a 6S pack on like the big rigs and everything. You would have you'd cell balance, right?
Right, correct.
And so when I was doing that, you'd be able to see the individual chart things. But on a thing like that, they could unbalance during a couple of uses, and then you would do a balancing charge.
Of course.
So that the zero has to do a balancing charge.
Yes, it does.
So
Absolutely.
if they're out of balance after a balancing charge, that would indicate a big fucking problem.
That would indicate that your batteries are no longer as healthy as they once were.
Right.
You're starting to get bad cells.
Bingo.
Yeah, because over 10% of difference between cells, and you're going to start having some issues.
You got it. Yeah. That's exactly right.
Because the bad cells kill everything. Like they just
It does, and it's a cancer that's starting in your battery, and it's not gonna stop. And we know this from using the zero diagnostic software that Tom's using on his computer in the back is looking literally. It gives you the stack of all the cells. It's hilarious. When you look at this thing, it gives you like, how many cells? Tom's like 144 cells per battery or something.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
It's a big fucking chart. And you can look at each one of these little flat pack cells, and you could look at each one of them. They each have a number on them. And you can see the sad ones. You can see the unhappy ones that are in there.
Because like basically they have to break those into, what's the voltage? Like what on the... Like,
the pack's 106 volts, so do your math.
Okay.
Yeah, series and parallel to get there.
So they have to break those kind of into different cell packs.
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
And so here's what I think is really interesting and why I think an app that tells you the actual health of things, meaning the data that's available, shows you the data that's available, and then says based on your usage, we all have opened up an air filter that says this air filter needs to be clean or changed every 20,000 miles unless it's in harsh environments. Well, what the fuck is a harsh environment, right?
Texas.
Okay, Texas, absolutely.
Just all of it?
Right. So
dusty roads.
Right, dusty roads, exactly. Dirty environments, stuff like that. A 4-day fucking trip to mid-Ohio could be all your air filter can take.
Yeah.
Depending on how many times you're in that barrel racing pit, right? If you're in the barrel racing pit for 3 or 4 hours, your air filter's cached. I don't care who the fuck you are, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Now, if you had on your motorcycle, if one of the things your ECU is looking at is your manifold pressure sensor, your MAP sensor, and everything else, then it's detecting how your airflow is. And your airflow is going to be different with a shitty dirty filter or a clean filter, which means if your bike has fuel injection, you're dragging around with you now already the computer that detects that. Mm-hmm. You've already paid for that. It's in your bike. So since we're already paying for it, nothing annoys me more than getting on a modern motorcycle that has fuel injection, turning the key on, and on the dashboard, there isn't an ambient temperature thing that says, hey, Phil, it's 73 degrees out. Why do I get mad? Because I know the computer knows that information, but it's choosing to not tell me. Somebody in the design center, somebody in the engineering room said, on this particular TFT display or whatever display we're using, we've decided not to put in the anatomy to show Steve that it's 34 degrees and that there's an ice warning. Okay? Even though the computer knows it, it's choosing to not tell you that. And then it pisses me off more when I turn my key on and all the crystals light up on the display, showing me the things that could be there. And I see one of them is what? A temperature window. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, there's a temperature window in this fucking screen on this motorcycle. But the engineers decided not to push the data into it. Are you fucking kidding me? What would that have taken?
Right.
5 minutes of code? To be able to then turn my key on and go, oh, look, it's 36 degrees out. I'd better be careful about ice.
And that's the thing. So like when you get these new vehicles, like my truck, right?
Right.
At first you get in and you're like, oh, look at all these screens. This is so cool. And then you think about it and you're like, well, no, they just saved like $2,000 off making any digital or gauges or anything.
Right.
And now they plug in two $6 screens that you're all like, oh,
Tom was way ahead of it. Tom said, the thing we got to watch out for is when Vespa starts replacing every fucking sweeping needle with a TFT screen.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. With, what did you say they were? A phone. Like
Yeah, it's literally an Android phone.
Yeah. And when you got a company that can buy that whole fucking screen for $21 or $6 and slap
From
that
Digitech.
and slap that on your bike.
It's cheaper to buy a screen than it is to build a dial.
Well, not really. So did you see Ryan F9's new video?
Yes.
So when he dumps the Africa Twin,
A little
in the
bit of water.
It's not waterproof.
$5,000.
Right.
But it costs $21.
Right.
And as he said, he opened it up and it says Garmin on it.
Right.
He looked up the board, found out what the board costs. It was like $86.
But he can't buy it.
But he can't buy it. Honda's charged him $5,000
Right.
because he got his bike wet.
An adventure bike.
An adventure bike, right? Wow. And if it was a cable in Greece going up to a 1983 Yamaha speedometer, which costs $6, it would still work.
It might be
And it would even work underwater.
And it would work
underwater. Well, I didn't say it was going to be cheaper for the customer.
Well, this is the thing, right? And so you can't threaten a company with like, hey, everyone likes these screens. We've got people addicted to these screens, and we're going to put them on everything now. But as Ryan mentioned in Fort 9, they have trouble keeping these cocksuckers cool.
Yep.
So they can't fully auger them out and load them full of epoxy, or they'll overheat. Mm-hmm. So they have to have venting on them.
That was a recall. Like,
water ingress.
Yeah.
That's water cooling them.
They're water cooling. Well,
you can harden like with the cop stuff that I did, all the boards and like the lights and stuff like that. They coat them with like they shellac them so that they're pretty much the boards are waterproof.
Yeah, there was a chemical. I used to buy this stuff and I'd paint it on my flight control boards on the drones so that we could fly in the rain.
But they don't disperse heat the correct way anymore, and that's an issue. So you got to heat sink them.
It's like a thin coat of thing, but yes, you probably.
No, you're right.
It wouldn't make it better, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And that it's one of those things for sure that the cost savings is too attractive to the manufacturer to be like, oh, look, to me, having a key fob and a push button on a motorcycle is like fucking terrifying. There are so many ways that can fail. And Tom and I have seen them fail brand new out of the box, where like you don't even get one cycle, like one usage cycle. It's not working, right? We've also seen them fail maybe a week or two in.
But why should that tech be? I mean, like I have a key fob and a push button on my Altima.
Absolutely.
It's gone 220,000 miles.
Absolutely.
That's never been. So why is the motorcycle tech so less reliable than the car tech? You know what I mean? Like,
I think it's because it's not used.
It's not paid for. It's
You're not paying for the better tech, and more importantly, on your Nissan Altima, that push button is surrounded by 2,000 pounds of steel. Yeah. It's waterproof. It's dry.
Indoors,
it's cool. It's indoors.
Yeah.
Whereas your motorcycle, there's water dripping into that, humidity, dirt, dust, debris, all that shit, all the goddamn time. And the mechanism itself, the push and turn mechanism instead of a key, I really do love the sense of a metal key. Yeah. A metal key, you jam it in the hole, click, it's on, it's on. It's one moving part, you're good.
Yeah.
Right? The electronic key, or in the case of some of the bikes, you don't need your key. You just put it in your phone.
Well, that was the good thing with the Nissan. You flip a little thing and a metal
There's
key.
a key inside the key.
There is a metal key.
Right. There's a key inside the key fob. Absolutely. You have a metal key. You can get in your door. My Volkswagen has that. Yeah. And so with the motorcycles that are doing this kind of stuff, where we're talking about like, oh shit, that Africa Twin, its dashboard gets a little too wet. Your bike is a brick.
Yeah. Because
when the display, and this is, I can tell you from experience, when the display goes away, there's nothing behind it. There's no electrons moving around. You are not going to have a mechanical override switch that says, my display is fucked. Please put me into 100% caveman mode where I would like to just use my motorcycle sans the screen. That doesn't exist.
Well, and it's going to be really convenient too, because when you're in Africa on your Africa Twin, there's a lot of very good electronic stores that carry things,
replacement screens
that you can get through all these,
Yeah. You want to hear the other bitch of it too? Is if you break your replacement screen, and we have experienced this firsthand, or if you have a little water ingress in your screen, Aprilia. Man, in the late 90s, early 2000s, the Aprilia screens fogged up at the suggestion of moisture. Like if you got mildly moist, if you got delightfully damp anywhere near your Aprilia, your fucking glass fogged out. And you couldn't see shit.
Do you remember when all the clear taillights were the rage and people were getting them from eBay and they weren't even sealed?
Yeah. And you have to drill holes in the bottom to let the water run out. I see a Honda Civic running down the road with a taillight full of water, looking like an aquarium every time you go around the corner.
At first I was like, that's cool. And I'm like, wait, that ain't
cool.
To be like
There's
that.
A light bulb submerged in that.
You forgot to say slightly soggy.
Slightly soggy. And moist. We had all these Aprilias that were coming in, and Piaggio was like, oh man, Piaggio had just bought Aprilia, right? And so Piaggio was like, they really weren't ready to deal with Aprilia problems. They were like, we kind of think we know what we're doing with Aprilia problems, but let's see how bad it really is. Every fucking Aprilia came in with a fucking fogged out screen. You couldn't read it. It was unreadable. And it was completely, sometimes they would still glow orange, but then other times it would just flat fog out. And the entire, like every crystal on the thing would activate. So it was just a black screen. And then you turn the key on, you'd be like, oh, look, the bike's working. I don't know what's happening anywhere. I can't tell when I'm in neutral. I don't know anything about anything, but the bike at least still works.
Was it the Suzuki RE5?
RE5 with the roll top
desk?
That
had the roll top
desk. It looked like a bread container.
Fucking roll top desk. Yeah. I love those. I thought they were like this little spaceship.
Weren't you with
So you have to flip it open to turn your key on. To turn your key. You get off the bike, and as soon as you put the kickstand down, it just goes.
It just go down.
You put the kickstand up or whatever, you get on. I mean, protect all that stuff.
Oh, it's a really good idea. I mean, it's a great idea when you consider how fragile all that stuff is. My first Moto Guzzi V50, my Monza that I had when I was a young guy, but when I bought it, 50% of the lights worked on the dashboard. By the time I was done owning it, the only light that worked on the entire dashboard was the high beam light. And that means the speedometer wasn't working. Like nothing functioned on that entire display except for the high beam light. And it'd be fun. I'd just flip the high beams on and just be like, oh, there you are. My one friend, my one remaining light that works on the entire thing. But yeah, I want the folks at home to see this in case they've never seen one before. But the roll top desk that was the Suzuki 1975 Suzuki's dashboard is genius.
So I think, John, were you with me when your old club was at the IX Center still? And the dude had that there and they were telling me like how hard it is to find that intact.
Oh, God.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like that green thing is like fucking unobtainium times 9.
And you can even see in this particular picture how crazed it is.
Yeah.
How it's like you can see the fibrousness. You can see that it's already like you breathe on it the wrong way and it's going to break.
It's made out of popcorn air popper.
Yeah, you're right. The same fucking.
Yeah, it's the same shit. Yeah, it is. It is made out of. It is made out of the windshield from a 1974 Hot Wheels car.
Yeah.
It's made of the exact same plastic.
If you actually ride one of these, if you had it, you have to have a windshield for your windshield.
You would definitely have to have a windshield. You'd have to have a separate insurance policy for that cover.
Yeah. I'm sure you have to take it off.
1975. Gear position indicator, neutral indicator, oil pressure indicator, and electronic fuel warning light.
Is that ambient temperature?
No.
Oh, it's analog. It's got you know what? How about just a little a thermometer?
A stick-on thermometer. Oh, we've seen hundreds of dollar store clocks come into my shop glued over where the clock on a $20,000 motorcycle should be because we can change the battery for that clock, but it's going to be 2 hours of labor to get to the battery for that clock. And that's just bad design. It's criminally bad design.
Vulcan Dan says, I personally witnessed Phil riding a Zero 2 up to his waist in a creek at band camp.
It was.
Yep.
That didn't die.
It didn't die. It didn't die. It was deep, but it's scary because it's 106 volts.
Yeah, right.
So there's more than enough to kill you.
Yeah, and all the fish.
When I got up to my feet, I was like, well, you don't look cool unless you're really going into it. And yeah, my elbows were wet. Yeah.
We took the pit bikes up the thing up to our eyeballs and that shit. I can't believe that they still work through the shit that we dragged them through in there.
I have a video of that.
You do? That was kind of amazing. I would love to see that.
Somewhere on my Facebook.
Oh, that's
page.
cool. That's fun.
I rode through a puddle that was so deep last year down by Worcester, like in the swamps, that I was pushing a wake in front of me. I was afraid to stop because I was afraid that
it'll come back on you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Because when you're pushing a bow plane in front of you, you're in the shallow part of it all. But if you stop, you're not.
Nope.
It's coming back on you right away. Oh, that's fucking awful, man.
And there was these Amish kids like fishing in this puddle. That's how big it was. And they had these electric bikes, right? And I was like, "Hey, how deep's that puddle?" And they like pointed to their front axle, like it's whatever, it's like 12 inches deep, maybe. No, it was a solid like 30 inches deep. Right. It was covering the front wheel of my bike, and it was up to the like the fender and the fog lights.
Oh man!
And the air intake snorkels are right behind the fog lights.
Oh yeah!
And I'm like, this is getting a little dicey.
But it is extremely dicey. Oh, that was the other one on the Africa Twin. You see where they put the snorkels for the airbox? Pointed down? Mm-hmm. What the fuck?
Well, yeah, even on mine, they're right next to the lights. Like, they're right there.
You'd think that if you're going to put a snorkel system on the bike, a bike that could go in water.
Yeah, but I'm sure it has.
Apparently
if you look at the bottom, the drain should go down. Like, the water should drain out toward the bottom before it goes.
Yeah, but the drain hole's probably the size of a pencil.
Yeah.
And you're going to put water in there kind of in a hurry.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, God. Yeah, because the KLR, I've got the KLR in some deep water. And when I've had it in deep water, I was like, I really wonder how deep you can go. And then I pulled the gas tank and the seat off of it. I was like, oh, the airbox intake's pretty fucking high.
Yeah.
And it's pointing straight up.
And you can still flood one.
And well, it also has a water separator.
Yep.
So it's designed so that it has a room in there that is a water separator room where the water would have to fill that vessel all the way up to get to the intake that dumps into the motor. So you'd have a good opportunity to ride it for a minute or two.
Yeah, it won't make it through mid-city. Won't make it through mid-city New Orleans in 2 feet of water.
No, but you can see that with all the kids with the four-wheelers that do the mudding because they all got like 6x4
legit snorkels.
Yeah,
3-inch PVC
pipe headed out over the handlebars. Yeah,
PVC pipe going everywhere.
KLR 650 in 2.5 feet of water.
It's not going to work out. It's not going to work out for you.
That was a bad day.
It sounds like a bad day. And then the last one that we want to talk about is we do have the DGR coming up. That's going to be on the, 17th, I believe, right? 10 days from today? 10 days?
Oh my goodness.
10 days from today, DGR is coming up. So we're going to see everybody at Flat Out Garage in Cleveland, Ohio. So if you want to know, that's what you're going to know. On the 20th, if you happen to be in London town, if you happen to be in London, England, on the 20th, this is after the DGR, they're going to do a ride for the British couple that was jailed in Iran.
Oh, yeah.
So that British couple that has now been in jail for way too damn long, serving a 10-year sentence for suspected spying. A couple whose spying MO was so clever that they've been riding motorcycles around the world for years as a cover for their spying operation.
That's exactly what a spy would do.
It's what a spy would do. It's what if I was going to start spying, what I would do is I'd start, Itchy Boots is probably a spy.
Oh, yeah.
And she's been setting up this very long cover story so she can be a spy in Iran for now.
Right.
Yeah, because all of the building up to it was just a part of her cover story.
It's called the long game.
It is the long game, yeah. So, yes. So Lindsay and Craig Foreman, who are currently in jail in Iran, there's going to be a ride for them coming up, and I believe it is on the 20th. It is May 20th, 500 days. That is 500 days that they have been in custody in Iran. And so if you're there and you want to do it, they're in, those folks are in Tehran. They won't be at the ride, but you can support them. And if you're in London, you can show up and do the ride. Look it up. It's going to be leading. They're leaving, I think, from Kensington. But the point is they're actually, they're leaving from Queen's Gate at 9:30 in the morning, but they're going past the Iranian embassy. They're not just doing it to let's go have a ride. They're literally going to have as many motorcycles as they possibly can going to the Iranian embassy.
And everybody from ClevelandMoto is actually going to go to Iran and ride, including Cinch, to say, fuck this shit.
Again, motorcycle people that are traveling the world, we like to go out and we like to explore things. We like to go new places. We like to go cool places. And it's unfortunate that anybody would ever, Steve's not allowed to go where Pete's not allowed to go where Pete wants to go because Pete's got military history and therefore, we're not going to give you that visa or that kind of thing. Well, that's different than these guys who started and they had the visa and they done all their paperwork and they checked all the boxes. They made sure they were allowed to do what they were doing. They played by the rules and they got arrested anyway over some bullshit. And to me, it just seems like it's some horseshit hostage trading crap. So it's just we got these two nice people here, so we want to make you release Osama bin Daddy and all these other, bad dudes to exchange for these nice folks that we captured who were playing by the rules, filling out all their paperwork, doing everything legitimately, and they just bullshit. So, I'm against that, obviously, in a very big way.
Changing their oil when Ducati told them to.
Well, there's the problem right there. If they would have had the app, they would have known. Yeah, they would have protected them from exactly that situation.
But that's one of the things of world traveling, man. It's kind of scary is with all this stuff going on and shit. It's got to be kind of interesting to be real, not in the in the areas where things are getting spicy.
Where stuff's getting spicy.
How do you get out? Now you're just...
A month and a half ago when there were 7 gas stations on fire in Guadalajara and there's a major cartel activity and they're burning buses in the middle of the intersections and shit like that. Yeah. I'd already bought my plane tickets. I already knew I was going. I'd already had my plan. My itinerary was set up that I'm going, hey, look what's on the news tonight. That's going to be, my hotel is a block from that. Mm-hmm. Right? So... I got there, and here's what I will tell you. We all watched Guadalajara. We all watched buses on fire. We all watched trucks on fire. We all watched, OXXO gasoline stations on fire. We saw that. Everybody watches the news. I went there. There was not a hint or an evidence or a suggestion that any of that happened or that there was any gang activity or any drug activity or anything. I saw what I thought was more Lamborghinis than I thought I might have should have saw, right? I saw some pretty high-end stuff, including our architect, who's clearly doing well for himself, having the warehouse full of cool toys that he does. But I don't think he's in a cartel. I think he's just a fucking architect,
That's what he wants you to think.
Right. Yeah, that's it. But everybody that I met,
That's just his genius cover.
all the people that I met, you know what's crazy is, you've got a guy coming into your city from America. You got a bunch of people coming in from America and Italy and Germany, all these cool places. And I'm talking to, this German lady who's been living down there for years. And I was like, so, what's your take on this when your friends in Germany are like, oh, are you sure you're safe down there for the past 5 years, by the way, living amongst all this cartel activity? And she's like, I'd be the first one to tell you, I'm German. We're picky as shit. Germans have zero tolerance for people who don't play by the rules. Germans love following the rules. Germans can never have enough rules. And so she's like, look, that's cartel shit. It's cartel stuff. It happens. It's pretty rare when it happens. And it's usually just kind of in there. She's like, if you're not a drug dealer, it's not going to affect you much. If you're not a drug buyer, drug user, you don't rely on that for your income, it's probably not going to affect you much. They're not going after the citizens. They're not trying to make a point to the general public. What they're doing is they're having wars among their groups, in which case that happens here too. It's just the groups are a little different. What the groups call themselves are different.
Yeah.
I wonder what the murder statistic,
Right,
statistic
yeah.
is on, Guadalajara,
right,
versus
right.
Washington D.C.
Oh, versus Detroit.
What did I tell you before? I've lived in 3 of the top 10 most dangerous cities in America.
Yeah, that's a really good.
And one of them actually ranks up with Caracas as far as the per capita murder.
Yeah, sure.
Period.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, this is that kind of a thing where we say, okay, it's not. Like, I just looked it up, and it's not in the top 10. No. So it's not in the top 10 of the most violent cities globally. Whatever. It is the second biggest city in Mexico, and Mexico City is a giant fucking city.
Yeah.
So there are a lot of people there. We drove all around. We drove a lot. Like, we were in a lot of different kinds of neighborhoods, and some of the neighborhoods were really very fancy, and some of the neighborhoods were just not so fancy. Right? They were just. I got to say, there's more trash on the street in Cleveland, Ohio, than there is in Mexico, and that's a fact. Don't look up at the wiring, though, please. If you're in Mexico, don't look up at the wiring. More than once, I accidentally hit some sort of wiring that was hanging down where it shouldn't be hanging down. And I was like, one point I stopped because I was
when
like,
you were driving on the sidewalk?
okay, there's nothing more deadly in the world than a Mexican sidewalk. Mexican sidewalks are out to kill you. They were put together by like, I've got a bag of concrete and you want a sidewalk. Let's get this shit together. But what about right angles? We don't need those, right? Rebar sticking out where it shouldn't be setting out. Mexican sidewalks can be quite dangerous. It's not like here where you're like, okay, you could be a blind person, walk down an American sidewalk and be totally okay. Not there. Mexican sidewalks can be a bit fucking dangerous.
Uh-oh. We've been threatened with some guest appearances.
Oh, we should have some.
So Motosmith says that he is traveling from Canada to Tennessee. Would we like a guest next week?
Oh, hells yes.
Yeah.
Hells yes. Absolutely.
You're going to have to get in touch with Phil. He'll give you the information.
Yeah. Thursday, show up at the shop at like a nice 6 or 7 o'clock kind of thing. We kick the tires and light the fires here at 8 o'clock, but don't show up at 8 on the money. You might have to stand behind the bar.
I'd kill you.
My seat will be empty next week.
Oh, there you go. That's good to know.
Motoing.
That is very good to know. Where are you going to be going?
We're going to do the GOAT, the Great Ohio Adventure Trail.
Awesome. That's fantastic. Nice.
It starts down near Cincinnati, and it finishes up near the Pennsylvania border. In Conneaut, Johnny.
How many miles is it?
Yeah.
Well, as the crow flies, that's probably about 300 miles, but as this route is set out, it's 1,200 miles.
Yeah.
Okay.
I saw that
All right.
and I was like, damn, they really wiggled it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn,
No-
that's cool.
No straight lines. It goes inland.
It looks
and
like
then
your
back to the
grandma's
river.
back of her leg.
It's called the Varicose Vein Tour.
Exactly. As I just turned 55, I'm saying grandma. They're like, what am I fucking talking about? Anyways.
That's cool, man. So, how long are you going to be on the road?
We're leaving Monday to drive down to the river, which we'll do all on like state routes. And then Tuesday through Saturday, we'll be on the trail.
Okay.
So
All right.
5 days. And then Sunday morning, we'll get up and ride from like the PA border all the way back at the lake, which is where Conneaut is, all the
Okay.
way back to Cleveland to do the kickoff of the DGR.
Okay.
We'll be fresh off the road.
You will be, literally.
Yeah, we'll be.
Wow.
Oh, so you're leaving early morning to get to the start of DGR.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
That is, you are
I
definitely
mean, that's only
working
like
it.
100 miles from out that way back to Cleveland.
Yeah, yeah. It takes me about an hour and 10
And
minutes.
how much off road
Conneaut.
are we doing?
I think it's about 50%. It's a lot of Forest Service roads when you're down in the Shawnee National Forest and Wayne National Forest, and then it's a lot of gravel. And then there's some twisty 2-lane road too, but it's all back roads. There's no main roads on the actual goat ride.
That would suck. You're just rolling and think just tend to do a highway. You're like, oh,
How many folks will be on this?
There's 7 of us going.
Okay.
Wow. Detroit is the 49th most dangerous place, the 49th city on the list of the planet Earth. Detroit is number 49. Baltimore is number 44. So New Orleans is number 47.
where's East Cleveland?
It's not listed. I don't think it has enough population. I honestly don't think that they...
Too many people murdered. They don't have enough people.
I honestly was going to say, I don't think they can track it. I don't think they can track the data. We know it's no fun to be there.
No.
Right? We know that it's...
You know how many videos on YouTube are like the ghost town?
Oh,
of
yeah.
Ohio?
It's... Oh, yeah. YouTube loves East Cleveland.
Yeah.
For this whole concept of like, who's your police department? I don't know.
Yeah.
It's like,
haven't
this
seen one
month
in
I'm not
22
sure.
years over
It's the
here.
sheriffs.
Yeah.
I don't know. The state patrol, the sheriffs. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a different guy every month. He comes by
Independent
and
filmmakers are making zombie movies like without having to change the fucking sets. They're just like on the streets. Like it's crazy.
Of
Well, that's
cities.
like Kensington, Philadelphia.
Yeah. Well, the Tijuana is number 7, so that's something that people probably have a lot of experience with. So Tijuana is the number 7, and the ones that are above it are like Ecuador, Duran, Ecuador, and then Nelson Mandela Bay in South Africa is up there, number 5. But going down the list, it's kind of interesting that
Funny, I've been both those places.
you have.
Sometimes when you look around the room and you don't see never mind.
Well, in Ciudad Juarez, so we know Juarez. That's number 20, right? Acapulco, number 21. We were talking about bad news in Acapulco, but getting down there, Memphis is the highest, and I almost got my bike stolen in Memphis. Memphis is number 28. So of all of the planet, the most dangerous city in America is Memphis.
Dude, I remember the first time I went to Memphis when I was working for that company. We were doing the union promotions, and I was heading to a refinery to go and like film in a refinery. And I turned on the radio, and it was like turning on like a normal like 92.3 or something, and all the songs were like Molly, like fucking like hardcore
Just
underground,
pure drug, like drug culture radio.
I mean, kind of good tunes, but like underground shit was just normal fucking radio.
100%.
Yeah,
Drug. Yeah, it was. I was told 3 times, not like, hey, be careful. Memphis is a little, steely. You might lose some shit, right? I was like, no, it was straight up like, hey, what are you doing? You cannot park your motorcycle there.
Oh wait, true story.
Yeah.
I'm with my boss, and we're in the car that he rented, which happened to be because we needed a truck that could carry gear. He rented an Escalade
Okay. All
in
right.
Memphis.
Oh God.
So I opened the glove box to get this thing out when we get pulled over for him turning right on red.
Okay. All right.
And what I'm grab, I think, is the manual that's going to have all the rental information in.
Okay.
And instead, it's a 38 that whoever rented the car before us left as their drop gun. So I almost choke on my tongue.
Oh my
and
God.
just put it like casually back, like, no, it wasn't in there. Let me just look in this other thing really quick.
Shit.
So I'm just sitting there sweating my balls off because this cop is being a dick to my boss about like turning right on red, right?
Right.
So after we pull away, he goes, he goes, man, you clammed up pretty good. What happened to you? I was like, we have like probably a murder weapon or something in the front of the car. So we end up calling the cops and telling them that we found this fucking gun, right?
Yeah.
So they come to the hotel. When they get there, they roll in with like fucking dudes with shields. They get us, where's your room? They take us.
Because they know there's a gun.
Yeah, but I was like,
it's a
we
guaranteed
called
gun.
you, bro.
Yeah, it's
Like,
still
you know,
guaranteed
like,
gun.
oh,
It gives them an excuse to roll out.
Yeah, it was fucking crazy, but that all happened in
It's a
fucking
gun
Memphis.
call.
I never had a rental car with an included gun before.
Right.
Yeah, I usually got to
I'd
provide
have
my
kept
own.
that fucking thing.
Oh no!
Did you
that
pay
was
a
the
little
best
more
part.
for that?
No, the best part was though they go, if nobody claims it, you can come back and get it.
Get out of here.
Yeah, right.
Really?
Yeah, because they ran the numbers. It wasn't involved.
It
in a
came back
crime.
clean?
It came back clean, and there was no claims.
And
or
it
no
wasn't
loss.
registered anywhere.
No, and so
So
they
it was
were
just a
like,
So
clean
you
gun.
going back this weekend?
Yeah, that was a bunch of years ago. But yeah, they were like, "Here's a claim ticket if you want it. Come back and get it."
Oh boy,
Hey,
that's dicey.
free
But-
gun.
Free gun.
Well, that was the thing. Well, that was the thing because he had to go back for the ticket.
Yeah.
He had to go back.
Oh, he had to go back for his right on red?
Yeah, dude.
I think they should have taken away the right on red ticket
And took
because they got a free gun.
Right. Like the good makes
Like
the bad.
yeah, exactly. It's
Right.
seriously, it's like, okay, I got a free gun
Yep.
in this hand. I'm willing to give you the free ride on the right on red, which is bullshit anyway.
And
Yeah.
if my Facebook wouldn't have got banned, I had pictures of it from the
man.
thing, and I could have. It was fucking hilarious, dude.
I would still be
Goddamn
freaked. I would still
Facebook.
be freaked out though, because like you say the gun's clean, so that means great. You take the gun, go back, you get the gun, you got your claim ticket. I got my gun, but then some shit that hadn't come up yet.
Yeah, right.
Right. They find a body somewhere with two behind the ear, and all of a sudden this gun's not so clean anymore.
Right.
Right. So like the fruits of a poisonous tree comes up to bite you in the ass, and that's where I'd be like, yeah,
Well,
fuck
and
that.
let me put it this way: this was not a collector's item.
No, it wasn't a collector's
This
item.
was like, at,
Yeah.
Rural King. What's the cheapest 9mm that you have?
Was it a revolver or an automatic?
It was a little clip thing. I
Little
think it was
automatic.
a 38 or
Yeah.
something, like a little auto,
Little
like maybe
automatic, a little 380 or something.
It was called
380,
high,
something
the
like that.
high point special.
I see a raven.
Yeah.
I would have thrown.
Yeah.
I would have thrown it in the river. I wouldn't even have called the cops.
I'm
I'd
seeing a
been
Jennings 22 in your future.
I was thinking the same
we
thing.
were. It was kind of a corporate.
I didn't want to
thing.
make fun of you.
I know, but like he was like.
I don't carry that.
I don't know why he wanted
please
to
don't.
call him.
No.
Believe me, it was not my idea. I never want to involve cops in any part of my life.
Yeah.
So I'm better off.
If you spend less than $200 on a gun, it has a 50% rate of actually firing the first time you pull the trigger. I've learned that in my life.
You're right.
So it's like a lot of guns that I have bought super cheap. And I was like, what the hell? Let's just see what, we got this gun super cheap. Let's take it to the range, pop, brand new ammo in it and be like, click. And you're like, oh shit.
High points, though. I mean,
I'm not saying
their junk
Right.
they
Yeah.
feel like crap and
Yeah.
everything, but I've shot them
Right.
and I've seen plenty of videos of people just like abusing the shit out of a $150 high point. And
I've had a $100 Raven or something that I got like on like a 6-way trade or some nonsense. And I'm like, oh, it's a Raven. It's 25 caliber. What's the worst? And I load it up, take it out, click. And I'm like,
what's that slide made out of? Die cast.
cheese. It's made of wood.
Same thing that an old cap gun was.
It
made
is.
out of.
I've seen old cap guns that were built better than some of the shit that they're selling as guns that you're supposed to carry to protect yourself.
Our good listener, Thrustin Justin, was like, "Oh, St. Louis isn't there. I'm ashamed." Oh, I can tell you some St. Louis stories.
Oh
Your
no,
city is
I did.
fucking
If you go
shady as
down,
fuck, dude.
you can go not far down there to get St. Louis BT
So,
down.
how far down is East St. Louis?
What I think is funny is the only Canadian town that's on the list, right?
Yeah.
Is Thunder Bay.
Really?
It's Thunder Bay. Thunder Bay is the only one that's on the list with 15 homicides per 100,000.
Again, been there.
Been there. That's well, and so you can say you were in
You
the most
tour all the nice
dangerous
places.
Wait a
place in
minute.
Canada.
Let's put
Thunder Bay.
Pete's travel schedule into the database and see what we come up with.
Maybe it was his.
Now we know how all these people are getting killed.
Now we know why he's on the list.
I can't talk anymore.
Why do you always have a van with a bunch of garbage bags in
And
the
he's
back?
on his 8th wife. That's kind of strange too.
It is. It's a very curious thing that his travel schedule just happens to coincide with the murder rate.
Yeah.
That's it. Well, that's pretty kooky.
Murder rate is 0 until Pete's trip to Alaska.
It was such a nice, quiet town.
And then Pete
And
arrived.
then this guy shows up on a monkey.
Dude, that explains why he shaved his beard off. He was running from the law.
That's right.
Oh, man. Yeah. It is pretty funny when you look at the cities, though, that in the United States that have a higher like risk of danger of living there than Guadalajara. And Columbus, Ohio is technically more dangerous than Guadalajara, Mexico.
That's just because of all the one-way streets.
That's hilarious.
You want to kill everybody. You're like, I just want to go right there, and I fucking can't get there.
Here's the weird thing I found out in Mexico. They don't mark them.
Oh, really?
No.
You just find out?
So you just pull onto the street. Because like the big scary ones, they're all going the same way. So you don't fuck around with that. So you just like pull out of the parking lot, make a right. And you're like, okay, well now I'm going to back alley Sally back to the hotel. So, if you can't make a left, make 3 rights. That's the way the world works. And I go up a couple blocks, make a right, and all the car headlights are pointing at me. And I'm like, well, this is clearly a one-way.
You're like, hey, you assholes.
I didn't see the sign, right? And I was like, oh shit, spin a quick U-E in the sidecar rig, boogie back to the corner, go to the next street. Make a right, because if this one's one way, the next one's got to be one way the other way. That's how Chicago works, right? Well, guess what? We're not in Chicago. Go down that street. They're all coming at me again, both sides of the road. And the cars are pointed with their headlights pointing at me. And I was like, this bullshit. Sneak down that way, cut over one more street. You can't possibly have three streets in a row that are all one ways. Guess what? Headlights are pointing at me again, motherfucker, right? And I'm like, screw it. There's no cars on this fucking thing. I'm going for it. Sidecar and all. It's late. Haul ass. So we haul ass in the sidecar, go down this road. And I was like, man, that's fucking kooky. And I'm looking for markings to be like, there's got to be an arrow or a sign that says one way somewhere. There's not.
Is it a time thing? Like-
it's Roscoe rules. It's just, this is a street. Now you have to park the cars pointing a certain way so the reflectors are all pointing a certain direction. That's for safety. The people that live in the neighborhood know that. But there wasn't a single fucking visible sign that said, you're not allowed to go this way on this road. Some of them were painted on the streets. That's fine. That makes sense. I asked my Mexican buddy about it. I was like, so is that legit? Or did I just break 7 laws getting back to the hotel? And the guy's like, no, it's both ways. And I was like, I have evidence to point to the contrary, because I was the only one going that way and everyone else was going this way. He goes, then you pull over and let the other ones go past you. And I said, well, there's not enough road for 2 cars to go past each other. He goes, we know. Pull over. Duck into a slot, let them go by, and then you go. And I said, well, they duck in and let me go by? Depends. Okay. Coolest thing I saw, though, on Sundays, they shut the bitch down. The whole city for bicycle time.
Oh, nice.
I'm not joking. We had a big, like the biggest bridge, like this 900-footer, beautiful bridge that's right outside our hotel window. We could watch people, it's on magazines, book covers and stuff. And we're looking at this big, huge 6-lane bridge that's normally, and it's crickets. And it's quiet. And I got the windows open and the whole city is just quiet. You can hear anything. And I see a bicycle go by. And then I see another bicycle go by. And I'm like, this is insane. The entire city of Guadalajara, millions and millions of people, they're riding bicycles. And this is what they do. And this is Sunday between like 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. Cars are not allowed on any of the bigger roads. So if it's a road like Lorraine Road, like US Route 6 or something we have here, Ohio 10, those roads are closed. So the little roads like this, like the street we're on, those are open. So the tertiary roads are open. You can't go out onto the bigger roads. They don't have cops posted up at every single intersection. You just know that if you go out onto one of those, it's your ass, because they will pull you down and arrest you and do all the, charge you the money.
You got me excited when you said bridge because it triggered my brain.
Oh,
did you hear the story? This is so fucking awesome and funny. It's not awesome for anybody, but it's still funny. So I think it's the Bay Area Bridge.
Okay.
Bike Life was doing a ride out with like 500 guys.
They did a takeover?
And the cops fucking...
On the Bay Bridge?
Yes.
In San Francisco?
Look it up.
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah. And the cops pulled the front and back and was like, oh, guess what, dummies? When you're in the middle of the bridge...
Guess what?
You can't get off
If you're on a peninsula...
Yeah.
You can't get off.
So they just showed flatbeds of trucks or bikes being, like hundreds of bikes just towed. Like, but think about that. And let's show off on the bridge. Yeah, man, let's show off on the bridge. And then boom, dude got fucking just barreled.
Well, you just the dumbest thing in the world.
Yeah.
That is like literally,
No,
let's go have.
They did show him fishing one out of the water. Like somebody
went
said,
for
fuck it. Went
You're
for it.
kidding me.
No.
And it's probably the big silver bridge that goes between Oakland and San Francisco.
I'm
They're
sure
not going
you
to be
can
on.
find the
They're not going to be on the
story.
Golden
I'm
Gate.
sure.
That one was an Africa twin. It was riding Fort 9.
He was leading the crew.
And on that, my friends, ride fast and take chances. Play us out of here, Johnny Mac.
Bum, 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 bum,
Eject, get us out of here, Sleepy. Press the red button.